Good morning. Good morning. Thanks, Drew. How are you all? It's a real pleasure to be with you. Feels like I haven't been with you for a while, but we've been very busy, and I've had a lot of personal things going on, so we've just been really busy. Had Ken here from Kansas, and a good dude there, active on the Facebook. All you good Facebook healers, I'll tell you what, you guys really get it. And it's so simple, but it's hard for the consciousness or the conditioned mind to open up and say, wow, So this is an interesting journey for a lot of you. I'll say those that are more awakened will get it a lot quicker and a lot faster. And then the shift, you're going to see our shift. Once this power that we create together and we change the consciousness, then you're going to see the spiritual side really blossom. So it's I see it in all of you, and it's going to happen to all your clients. So that's pretty exciting, to see an elevation of man's ignorance. I'll say man at this level, But I hope you're doing all well. I hope those of you who are in pain are working yourselves out of it. Do not get frustrated. This is not a treatment-based consciousness. It's actually trying to help you understand that treatment-based thinking doesn't work. It's non-curative. You can't get your remedy from it. And this, you can get your remedy from it. It might take you a while. And we're just talking about that a little while ago, how people have come from mom, which pretty much shares her lymph system with you. And then you wake up to a huge problem in our society, and it's called the medical profession. This is probably one of the biggest issues man faces. He's created a runaway system that is basically World Health Organization controlled. World Bankers, world controlled. It doesn't seem like that would spread into that area. But this treatment-based modality must be changed radically. You can't continue to disperse toxic drugs and claim you're looking for genes that could cause these things, and down these stupid, ignorant pathways that lead to nothing but tons of money. And people giving their poor money to these cancer groups thinking there's going to be a remedy someday. You got to dispel all that crap. That's been going on for 50 years now. So it's just just the aggressive collection of funds from people preying on their emotional components. People want remedy, and they deserve remedy, and people deserve. I mean, the example was a 30-year-old girl we were talking about yesterday, the day before, 30 years old with a huge tumor on her head, and she has a 3-year-old girl. That makes me want to cry. And her medical doctors have been watching it. We're going to watch your tumor and see what it does. So now she's in trouble. Like in major trouble. So, and she's got a little 3-year-old. So this is the kind of crap we've got to change. So we have to all tie together, get our loves up, get strong. But sometimes some tough love is gonna be hard for our society to take here, but it's got to have it. And it's going to come from God, not us. But we're a part of that. You have to understand, you're part of the team of light givers, and you're just part of that team. And I love all of you guys that are working with that, because you've got masters, you've got spiritual guides, you've got all kinds of beings helping all of us to achieve these things here. All right, so let me get to some of these questions, because we're going to be here for quite a while today. Which is good, because I really need to spend some time with you lovely people. I just miss talking to you a lot, but there's just a lot going on, so I appreciate you hanging in there. One of the goals, of course, I have is that all of you become practitioners, so I'm kind of pushing you guys out there to do that and get your feet wet and help others, and so many of you are, and this is how God wins. This is C1SC Ohm. I love that. Bananas and potassium. But, you know, if you're on dialysis, that could be a problem. You have to eliminate all foods with potassium, right? Well, that's just virtually everything but protein, basically. And that's just what you want when you're on dialysis, is a high protein meal, isn't it? I mean, this kind of insanity thinking. So this is just, it's sad that we can save 98% of the people from going to dialysis if they just get onto this and regenerate their kidneys. Hi, Doc. It's been a long time since I wrote you. I remember it's been a while, man. I've seen your latest videos, and I'm glad you keep posting them to the world. We really need them. Thanks. I appreciate that. You know, that kind of feedback does keep me going and keep me wanting to post them there, you know, because sometimes I wonder whether, you know, I'm doing okay with you guys or what. Now, the reason I'm writing you is because a few months ago I decided to start my breakfasts with bananas. Interesting. Everything was fine, but last week I got nausea and stomach discomfort. I thought it was something else, so I did a colon cleanse and got better. The next day, same thing, so I threw away those bananas thinking they might be contaminated. I did a test at noon at my parents' house and got the same results. Today, the same thing. So it's possible that I'm too high on potassium? Nah. Keep in mind that chemistry is pretty balanced. If you are from the bananas, what would that tell you? And go right back to what gland and what organ? Exactly. Kidney and adrenals. You're back there. That's your sodium potassium pump. Absolutely. So this is the area you would want to look at. And if you can't, there's too much in that banana for you, leave them off and go up to the watery ones. You know, fruits much better. Cherries are out right now. Good to go that way. Blueberries are out there. Grapes are always out there. I'd go that way for breakfast, although I have bananas often for breakfast. But for me, I throw more bananas away probably than I eat them. I always have a lot of bananas around, but I don't overeat on bananas. I can't. I eat 2 bananas, I'm full. I don't have any need for calorie thinking. I don't live in that world. And that's the only thing that I see that's a problem with that one issue is, you know, trying to achieve calorie counts. Disagree with that. These symptoms doesn't happen when eating other foods, just bananas. How interesting. Well, then, what does that tell you, my friend? I wouldn't eat them for a while. Detox a little deeper, get my kidneys and adrenals up, and then go back and see if you can tolerate them. It could be just a really good eye-opener for you that you are having kidney and adrenal problems, because that's where I would go with this. I'm doing my research on it, but I really like your opinion first. Thanks, man. You probably know Durian Ryder, and he states that he eats bananas every single day, but I'm starting to think that everything in excess is bad. Thank you. Appreciate you saying that, because, hello, you don't see that anywhere in nature, excess like that, where you're eating 60 bananas or 30 bananas. That's insane. You don't even see a primate do that. So you see some people will get out of balance, and, you know, that's just life here. So, but you do what you can. Follow your own body. This is the whole part of healing, is listen to your inner guidance. Listen to what your body's telling you. If it says no bananas today, no bananas today. And you just listen to that, because chemistry is always in flux, meaning chemistry is always changing and adapting. Your body adapts to the swings of your emotions and your thoughts. Remember, thought is an energy user. You can sit there and work your mind all day long. At the end of the day, be as tired as you were out there planting plants all day. You know, everything takes energy, including thought, emotions, and all this. So, excess is bad for everybody. Simplicity has always been the underlying key to the complex. You know, the complex is, you could almost, if you were going to divide that up, you could say complex is almost creation. In reality, who could understand consciousness truly? And of course, there's no physical words that you can give, even in Sanskrit, to describe consciousness. Just really difficult. Intelligence, awareness, you know, all these things. P.S. I'm grateful that I discovered... Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Don't pull your hair out now. And if that, you need some hair, looks like. But thanks for the comment there. And it's a very, very good point. One we really haven't brought up a lot. And that is doing too much of one thing. And that includes fruits and berries and melons, too. I think it's always better to pull away slightly hungry and not overdo things. Anytime you complex chemistry, the body can't use it. So when you see simple amino acids in structures like carbohydrates, fruits and vegetables, that's as most animals deal with it. When we complex that, we're up to proteins. But when we complex that, now we're in a putrefactive substance, and now we have a whole different GI tract dealing with that. And if you compare the GI tract of a carnivore to that of a frugivore, a primate or a Homo sapien, or even a herbivore, all your horses and cows and elephants and like, you see drastic differences. Remember, the Eskimos are genetically losing the length of their bowels because of the high level of protein that they're consuming. That would tell you that wouldn't be a natural process for the human to consume that, because it's genetically rearranging the body. That would not be, but it's interesting how nature works. You would think, however, it may be like a lot of animals, they regenetic themselves to match their dietary issues. You would think that would happen to man. It has not happened to man. Man has remained a frugivore all these generations, eating outside of his element. And just take a look at the health of man. That's why medical doctors are way out of their league. They're so far out of their league, and yet their ego thinks they're at the top of their league. They have no clue. Matter of fact, they're part of the problem, not part of the solution. They become part of the solution when they become homeopaths or naturopaths, and they start moving away from this insane treatment-based thinking at high-protein diets, things like this that are just literally destroying people, and the use of the friggin' antibiotics. You got to understand the role of virals, bacteriums, and things like this. You just got to understand why God created them. If you continue to attack God, it doesn't get good for you. It just doesn't get good for you, karmatically. This is very Melly 101. I'm supposed to read you something from our sweet dear one that had no hair. Her hair was thinning real bad. Now she's got her full hair back. She wrote a little thing for me to read to you, but basically she's off her thyroid. Her thyroid has regenerated itself to the point she doesn't need armor anymore. Her hair's grown back. When your hair starts growing back, now you can get it growing back with the help of upper circulation, but when you're not using that and your hair's growing back, you're really getting your lymph system. And that's how you know you're getting your lymph system good, is because all the things that are going away comes back, including the color. Wow, I have been interested in natural healing for a while. I don't think it is coincidental that I stumbled across you, Dr. Morse. No, my dear, it isn't. Matter of fact, that's how God opens the doors and windows for people. And here you are. So you're ready for this level. There's no question about it. It's so hard when the people around you worship the allopathic ways and think you're a nut. But I'm going to tell you, sweetheart, hang on, because these guys are going to get a whopping. You just can't continue down that kind of road. It just, it's just not going to happen. There's going to be some whopping. You just can't keep being a negative society without the positive coming in and making some changes. So sad, but it is sad. It is sad, particularly today. Man, maybe back 50 years ago, you could understand how man just really was sleeping. But nowadays, oh my God, there's so much more awareness. Sad that you see this. It shows you how powerful the Rockefellers and those levels are, how they sit and think, how they can control man, how they can control man's consciousness, how they can build fear in man. And remember, I was telling you about 60 Minutes, and the head of the AMA said to 60 Minutes that let buyer beware. When concerned about doctors that kill other people too much, how do you protect the public? Let buyer beware. Does every state legislator hear that? Like I say, I'd like to see 50 class action lawsuits, one for each state, for all those that have ever been harmed by allopathy, because states have definitely, the legislators have definitely suppressed the rights of its citizens and the constitutional rights of its citizens by deprivation of rights through not allowing natural healing to take place. You don't need a license. You're under the Constitution. But this is what snuck up on us, and man didn't keep these legislators and their state embodiments in check. So now we got to deal with it. But they're lost. You're right, sweetheart. Love your sweet spirit. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. Listen, sweetie, you come on and get in this. Get your health back, dear one, and take off and have fun on this. And then, you know what? People will see you doing it, and then they'll go, well, look at that. All these people will suffer, and you're looking better, better, better. Pretty soon they're going to say, well, what have you been doing? You know? Sometimes your friends are going to change too, dear. And don't get upset, but sometimes you have to change your friends. I used to think, and this is for a lot of you couples out there too, I used to think that, you know, back in the early 70s, it was hard to find a female that was, you know, at some of these levels. And raw foodish and stuff like that. So Eckankar had a lot of men at that time, but it was still difficult because most of them were scattered around the world. So I had, well, you know, you don't need a, for me, I wouldn't need a woman like that. I have so much self-discipline that wouldn't matter. Yeah, I was lying to myself. I didn't realize. It's always good to pick someone that's in harmony with your level of thinking and your dietary thinking and things like that, because it becomes exceedingly difficult when you live with someone that doesn't do those things. Most of you already know that who are, and of course tons of my clients through the years have, and been difficult for me too. Doc Morris, I have just recently discovered you. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks to my mom. Hey, give your mom a big kiss for me, man. This is strong-willed. Yeah, I have been. I love to see parents now getting into this and teaching their children. Before it was the children trying to get their parents awake, and now the parents are trying to get the kids awake. I think it's funny. It's a good, interesting turnaround. So, good mom you got there, man. And have been enjoying your videos that are true. Oh, thanks. Also, thanks for keeping everyone's spirits up. It can get pretty depressing knowing how much fixing. You know what? You bring a good point here, and this is important. And this, what is this? Dovana 888. That's the email there. It is difficult sometimes, and you kind of get yourself in despair, but don't let that happen. Let yourself be your sukkar, your own sukkar. Don't try to find your joy outside of yourself, because that's creation, and you'll only get disappointed and hurt. You must be your own sukkar, your own joy, your own happiness. And that comes in with your contact with the all, with the infinite. Call it God, call it whatever, because it's such uplifting. It takes you from being finite and inferior to all, to being whole and total again. There's no need for security to have a home or to have anything. Those are the things you do to shelter your bodies. You're already home. I'm 30. I have taken birth control pills prior to having kids, 2 kids, mainly due to pimples after babies. Now, when you see pimples, even with estrogen, you know how bad your lymph system is, because estrogen is acidic and it stirs things up. Acids can stir things up. Remember, we talked about this before. It's all about the pHs. Get some chemistry books and start studying them, and you'll find that it's all about pH variances. Just like it's all about frequencies of electromagnetic energy in creation. And so you just have to realize that. Everything is chemistry and everything is physics. At the same time, man thought he could go out in the world of chemistry and play a little bit, like the kid in a sandbox. The problem with that is that we've ripped chemistry apart. And chemistry comes all magnetically bonded and ratioed together. So when you disturb ratios, a lady in here the other day, an old client, hadn't been in a while, was taking magnesium citrate to move her bowels a little bit. And so, and being very acidic and working on that in an MS case, she fell and fractured herself, I think a rib and a wrist. And it's like, honey, you can't take magnesium and things like this. And those that are already having parathyroid problems, taking magnesium, that's a twin sister to calcium, will only serve to push calcium and phosphorus, the little brother, out. Even though the little brother's an acid, phosphorus is essential to bone matrix and so many functions in the body. But on the minor side, where calcium, magnesium sit up, the main matriarchs of the body, basically. And so, you can't take them out of balance. Taking chemistry out of context doesn't breed health whatsoever. And if you're having bowel movement problems, get up on the herbs and use the herbs. Get your adrenals up, get your neurotransmitters up so your autonomic nervous system can function better. Clean the bowel wall off of all impactions and get into the wall, the lymph system, which can harden the wall. Get that cleaned up, and then you'll have more elasticity, better peristalsis, better nerve performance for that, and all the things that implies. I then switched to an IUD that had a little amount of hormone released. Oh, God. I know it isn't. You know, the problem is we herbalists should have had a really decent birth control formula hundreds of years ago. We should have and could have. It's just finding those. And I'm working on one vigorously to where it's something that won't harm, that'll only, you know, keep the woman healthy. But it'll be a natural God-given birth control instead of playing with these steroids. Not in the scheme of things. It slashes these women's adrenal glands and everything else. I feel sorry for the ladies out there. They've been run through the gamut with the Allopaths. And I tell you, allopathies is a bunch of kids playing with dangerous weapons. That's all I can tell you. Bunch of kids playing with dangerous weapons. And many people get hurt from them, and many people get killed. But now I am using it for contraceptive rather than pimple treatment. I would. I'd get my lymph system going, sweetheart, and, you know, get that cleaned up. The real treatment is cleansing my lymph, the adrenals. Yeah, she gets it. Well, that's why I love you guys. You guys get this, and I'm so proud of every one of you guys. I'm just super proud of you guys. You're going to save yourself a lot of serious problems coming up here because it's not looking, you know, it's problematic right now. I was talking to Kim, and, you know, it's just, you guys are seeing this everywhere. And it's just sad. This world needs help bad, and us spiritual people are here to help, no matter what we have to put up with, guys. And this is to you too, Barry and Millie. You stand up, be a God woman, and go forth. And you found truth, and you emanate truth. That's your beingness, and then truth will pull you deeper into itself. That's the cool thing. And then you become more God conscious, and that really is what the gig is. For those that want that. There are those that want to play in creation. Scoot along and have at it. In one of the videos you have mentioned cutting the tubes, but it seems a bit radical to me. Well, I tell you, I've seen a lot of this. I looked at a lot of that. And I know that sounds radical, I will have to say. And we would have to go to one of the allopathies that I do like, and that is surgery. Good surgeons are just amazing to me. I love them. And this is the limitation allopathy should have, is surgeries. And maybe some good ER docs, you know. But it seems a bit too radical. Yeah, it is, but at the same time, when you consider what all these other things do, and IUDs being a little cancer causing. You got a roach run in here? You gonna come in and say hi when you're done?
Yeah, I gotta write this up. And
okay.
Come in and wave and
say hi and heck yeah.
The whole routine.
Hey yeah, come on. Want to introduce you to our new counselor here, and Roger is kind of way up there in FEMA, or was way up there in FEMA. And when FEMA was here, when the hurricane was here, I lectured to him about fungus and stuff like that, and I worked with a lot of the FEMA people themselves, and I got to know Roger pretty good. He's actually from this town, and he's a really good fellow. Heart's in the right places and stuff. He's just a good guy. And one of the, let me see, is IUD going to interfere with my health in the long run? You know what? I don't know. I've heard some negative things about IUDs in terms of cervical cancers and stuff like that. So you might research and see what other women have had. Unfortunately, you know, before you find out about something, it does harm to somebody. And that's what it just kind of gets me in the gut that we have to put anything out there that even has the potential to hurt one person. I just think that our consciousness is in the wrong place when we say it's okay out of 1,000 people to kill 100. I mean, even if you said it's okay to have a 5% kill ratio on a chemical medication, and you have 10 million people taking the chemical medication, what's 5% of 10 million? Scary? Scary. But that's okay. It's accepted to kill a few thousand people from one medication. It's okay. Yeah, that's the rule of thumb we try to live under, isn't it? I have been on raw for 3 months now. Good health, strong-willed, sweetheart. You carry on and make yourself well. Research on that IUD and see what you think about that. I think any foreign object anywhere creates a little inflammation around it. But if you're only using it temporarily now and then, I can't see where that would be a big deal, you know. Remember, I would also douche occasionally with Heal All tea just to strengthen these female areas. All women should use that tea to douche. I made it for you for that. Real strong, real healing, real powerful, really great. Really, really, really great for women, and it helps. So anytime you're irritating tissue, send a little time away from that IUD, douche, heal that up, and then go back. You know, that way you're not constantly irritating and breaking down things. Give it a little rest, let it heal itself, go back, that sort of thing. That's what I would do. This is the the G Game 01. Hey, bro. Thank you, Doc. Can you help regain my hair? I was just looking at your no hair, bro. Listen, and you're 40 years old. Well, where's that? I gotta find that letter from our dear YouTuber there. I showed you her hair, but that's just one of, you know, it's a, I know you guys thought I was nuts at first, but it's a given to get your hair back. And there's other people showing you on Facebook, I believe, those things. So, bro, you get your hair back. Got to go with upper circulation here. Let me see if this is your picture. I can tell you. Work on your kidneys and adrenals, bro. Get your gut cleaned up, too. And upper circulation, get your hair getting up there. And you'll get it up there. But it's always what the hair, the loss of hair, means, and especially at 40 years old, what this poor gentleman is headed toward. And it sounds like, honey, where did I park the car? Oh, look at these doggies. Turtles Run 100. I found a little bitty turtle. Little bitty baby turtle. Got a lot of turtles around where I live. Found a little baby turtle. I fed it a little bit and then we released it. Dear Dr. Morris, can my dogs live as healthy without raw meat, just eating fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds? Many do. Many do. There's a ton of vegetarian dogs out there. Back in the early 70s when I had my health food stores, there was a young lad in high school that was changed. I think he was a golden retriever, and he was turning him into a vegetarian. And I know some of these pro-dog people do use vegetarians because their coats are better, their skins are better, things are better with an omnivore a lot of times without the meat. Cats, no way. I've tried that. Can't do it as far as I know. This won't work. But if you look at the difference between the gut of a carnivore like a cat and an omnivore like a dog, it's like night and day. And you just can't put high putrescent food into omnivores too much. See, I suppose if you looked at all the different omnivores, you'll see all different levels there. And my little Shih Tzu is a huge carnivore, but when and his poop isn't good, nothing's good. But when he eats these vegetables, he poops good and everything's good. It's just getting him to eat his vegetables. My dogs are 5 and 2 and have never been sick enough to go to the vet. And do not take drugs for heartworm prevent because of their healthy diet. Well, not only that, but you could use Parasite M or Parasite G for heartworms, or deworm your dog with those two anytime you'd like. That's what's neat about herbs, is you can deworm your dog without the harmful effects of the heartworm medication. I don't like the heartworm medication, but they love bones and raw meat a lot. They eat 1/2 and 1/2 pounds of raw meat a day along with bones, fruits, veggies, and seeds. I think that's a really healthy diet you got your dogs on, so they should live way up there. That sounds good to me. The Gearson plan says raw meat is best for animals. Well, every omnivore and carnivore has some probably animal raw meat. I don't know why anybody would think cooked meat would be good for you. I mean, no animal's supposed to eat cooked foods. I mean, I don't understand why anybody would that would even be an issue. But I suppose a lot of people cook their meat before they give it to their dogs, which is... Can they survive just as healthy without the raw meat and bones on just fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds? Like I said, many do. If so, will they always mourn their likes for the raw? Well, I think like someone said earlier here, Turtles Run 100, moderation. Keep the raw meat, but keep the vegetables and everything else. Keep that up higher maybe than the meat. Keep the meat down at the lower side and higher veggies and, maybe some fruits occasionally or something. But I would think dogs would be less fruits and more vegetable. I tell you, I have a lot of clients, a lot of people with animals, and I hear all kinds of stories of how they treat their animals. And some dogs are given grapes and everything else and they don't die. Some might, I don't know, but I'm just saying what I see. My dog won't eat grapes, but my big dog has. My golden retriever always had grapes. He never died. But anyway, it might. I can't say. I just have to be cautious, of course. But I think dogs are more vegetables and they really don't have the diet for vegetables. So you have to be careful with that because they don't have the GI tract for vegetables at all. So, but they do better with them. So a little combination would definitely be good. My golden retriever always sucked along the grass and ate on the grass alongside the road. I always thought that was a good sign of the need of omnivores to have greens in their diet a little bit. Sean Sint. Hey, Sean Sint. Why promote and teach health remedies when you claim it is better to die and go to a la-la land? Good question. Why promote and teach health? Well, for those that want to stay, dear man, for those that want to stay, you can stay all you want and have fun all you want, but you'll have fun here better with a healthier body, I guarantee you that. And getting healthy increases your spirituality. That's the thing. But if you don't want to go to la-la land, then stay here in this land. It's okay. Everybody has their own aim. Are babies born with knowledge of the past life? Absolutely. When you see a little baby, you're just seeing a little body. You're not seeing a little soul. You're seeing a little body. The soul behind there. I think I told you this story one time. I was only about 3 years old, and my mom was washing me in the kitchen sink. It was a little bitty thing, and they were having a party, and this couple came over that owned the Chevrolet dealership, and my dad owned the Chrysler dealership. But they were all friends, small little town. And his wife was beautiful. And I still remember at 3, looking at her coming in, I said, man, she's gorgeous. And I just covered up my little whacker. It's like, I was real embarrassed, I knew at that level. So you're far back. You ever had a deja vu experience? Yeah. We're so large. And so you, my friend, are a very, very big individual. It's just that our bodies limit that. But babies, big time. I remember many Ecus females, that would communicate with the souls before their babies were born. And they would know just what that karma is of that soul, what the journey is, what that soul looked for in that couple, why they picked that body, all those things. And I've seen many, many stories around that. So fascinating stuff, isn't it? I love that stuff. You don't want to close yourself off from growing and expanding and learning more. If we keep our doors closed to learning, you become a very small, recluse type of individual, and life isn't very much fun. When you open all your doors, man, it's fun. It's unlimited. Life becomes big. Here we're so used to small consciousness, and humans think small. They can't. That's that mind, that trap that the governments have got everybody in. Because they know. Let me tell you, I definitely am hooked to a lot of upper area military people, and I hear what they've known for how long. No. Then why promote? Let's see. Are babies born with knowledge of the past life? No. You made a statement that's false, buddy, because you don't know that. I do know that, but you don't know that. And I can tell you don't know that because it's a wrong statement. Then they promote such bogus theories of reincarnation. Reincarnation means nothing when you can't remember shit from your past life. Therefore, theory of reincarnation means nothing. Oh, you're feeling good. Looks like you need a good, that's it. You need to go down and just have a colonic. You'll feel better. You know that? It's just, you're just bucking on your belief system here. Remembering? No way. You don't want to remember everywhere you've been, dude. That wouldn't be really good. There's a reason why you can't remember, but I can tell you many people do remember. Many people do remember. Keep that in your mind. You're making false statements here. Here we go. Can you please drop the spiritual New Age crap and focus on health, please? No, I won't. You get off the site or go somewhere else. Or sit back and take it. Because it's both in one in my page. That's all there is to it. One. All one. So you go find yourself something else to do then. Mother Nature Heals. Posted. I love that, and I love your thing there. Thank you for all you do. Oh, thank you for all you do. You know, it's just growing. It's like this gentleman just needs to grow a little bit. You know, he's probably born and raised Christian or something and doesn't kind of understand out of the box, but the problem with a lot of religions, if you go back and study back the mystic side, most religions have their mystic sides, guys, and that's where you find that. Look at what Jesus came through, the Essenes and the Gnostics. Study their material. When you study man's material, you'll see man's thoughts into spiritual things, like the Bible is full of man's thoughts. But if you go back and you read the Gospels, and I mean all of them, 26 of them, you'll have a different view of reincarnation and Christianity. But you're reading what man wrote and put together, what he decided to use out of the Gospels. Yeah, well, you're going to be brainwashed. And a lot of people are brainwashed. Some people think there's just a little bitty life here. You come here, suddenly you spend 50, 60 years, and then you die and you go back to heaven again. Yeah, right. Well, that's an insult to the Supreme Being, because that's saying that, you know, there's just this little hole in the wall right here, this planet, we're the only ones here, we come here for, you know, that kind of consciousness needs to die away and get off of here, because it serves nothing but to put fear in people and limit your awareness. Now, you're limiting your awareness, my friend. Sean, go out and, you know, drop all that crap yourself. Matter of fact, you don't have to believe any of that. It would be better, matter of fact, for all of you, it would be better if you didn't believe in anything. I guarantee you. It'd be better if you just put your belief systems in the trash can and don't believe anything, and begin to learn how to observe reality from consciousness. Learn how to observe for reality beyond the conditioned state of mind. And you'll see and you'll know God, all these things. You won't have an idea or a theory, or you're just talking from condition from your families and your churches or whoever, synagogues or whoever. You know, you be the discoverer of the new world. In other words, you've got to break this conditioned thinking like this. This is old thinking. And it's work in the present moment. Start observing the workings of just observing the workings of the human body shows there was an intelligence involved. Looking around. It's like that little guy in the chair that talks about the universe, Keegan or whatever his name is. He thinks there's no God. He's probably pissed off again. He's in a chair, but he could have fixed that. But he was so intellectual, and I saw his whole take on the universe and, you know, how there is no God and stuff. And there's a lot of people like that. They're suffering because they don't feel their allness. They feel their limitedness, and that's too bad. You know, you've got to feel your allness and your happiness and your joy. And you can tell by your picture you don't have a lot of joy, son. You got to go get your joy back, son. Now, 2 short questions. What veggies are considered fruits? Cucumbers, tomatoes, avocados, those sort of things, you know, squash, those sort of things. Veggie fruits. And you still feel really good on those. So I like that category. Fruit veggies, whatever we want to call that category. But it's a good category because it's still lighter food, less dense in its structures, easier to digest for the Homo sapien. It gives you a big bill of fare. You know, once you're away from detoxification, look at your bill of fare. All the berries on the planet are unreal in taste and flavor. All the fruits are unreal. There's some fruits I don't like in the tropics. There's no question about it. But there's some good fruits, not even funny. I mean, that's where all the flavor is. There's no flavor chewing on a piece of grass or wheatgrass. Even alfalfa, not so good, but as opposed to, let's say, a ripe orange. So we're definitely into the flavors, no question about it. And our bodies suit that perfectly. So really, just understanding that you got all the berries, you got all the fruits, and you got the veggie fruits, which are pretty cool. Green beans may be considered a veggie fruit. Peas, maybe. Those sort of things, although green beans are very, very tough cellulose-wise. Probably pop them open and get inside, and those are very small. So I don't know what to say, but green beans are very, very cellulose-rich. So your bill of fare, you got the nuts, you got the seeds, although on the nuts and seeds, boy, I would keep those to extreme minimum, except for maybe the coconut or something like that. Yes, I have a tooth problem. If you haven't noticed, I lost my whole crown up here. I've got to go into surgery. Lymph. Cucumbers, peppers, right on, man. How about corn? Well, you notice nobody digests corn. If you ask people, do they see undigested foods in their stool, the first thing they come up with is corn. So nobody digests it. The flavor's good. I love sweet corn, and raw. It's really good. I used to eat raw corn in the field and the farm. You can eat animal corn in the raw. SK lessons run in the family. Whoa. Conventional medicine doesn't identify a cause. I bet they don't. SK lesions. Keratosis. Let's see what it is. Can these be addressed with raw food and herb balance and support? Thank you for serving us all in this way. May they create... Oh, thank you. Thanks, Debbie. Just remember how simple what your learning is. When you take a look at creation at this level, there's basically two sides to chemistry. You know that you have the acid side, the male, the aggressive side, the corrosive side, and then you have the base or alkaline side, which is better known as the female or healing side. So you have those two sides. And then you have a bunch of cells to deal with, 100 trillion basically, and then you have two major fluids of the human body that take care of those cells. You also have to have eliminative organs because a lot of the chemistry that is in some way altered in the human body, either through digestion, metabolism, or respiration, etc., 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 must be eliminated. All the byproducts and residues of not only digestive waste, but also cellular waste. So cellular waste are the main concern of what we're talking about, although a lot of people hold back digestive waste. They don't move their bowels for 2 or 3 days or weeks. So that's a big problem for a lot of people, no question. But cellular wastes are by far the key factor because these are predominantly acids, and acids that haven't been converted till they get to the lymph nodes. So just keep in mind it's cells, lymph nodes, kidneys. Cells, lymph nodes, kidneys. That's how these wastes go out. All right, cells, lymph nodes, kidneys. All right, do it. Don't make me laugh. I got no teeth.
You'll be back.
Gnarly. Oh, I love it. Okay. Is this a breast?
Yes.
Female?
Yes.
That's real pretty. Come on in. Introduce yourself. Scoot over here, Roger. This is Roger. This is our new man on the totem pole.
Good morning, everybody.
Scoot. Let me see if I can get Drewski in here. That pretty gnarly?
That might be disclosure.
You don't know who did that. There's no face. But this is a very, what has she done for it? Has she had chemo or radiation?
Yes, she had it.
Thought so.
Because that's what's coming out now, right?
Yeah.
So,
Matter of fact, as that chemo comes out, it'll burn her even more.
and she had it in 2011 and 2008.
She had chemo twice?
Yes.
Wow. That's pretty gnarly.
But I'm seeing healing skin.
Good.
Aren't you?
I am. Well, not only healing skin, but is this bleeding yet? I mean, this area might start bleeding on you, and if this area starts bleeding, good. If she starts bleeding a little bit, come on in.
Yeah, because you've got...
I almost ignored that because I didn't think
Did you
you
have
were
Drew
here.
come in just a minute? Is he here?
I think he is, no.
You've got
No, he went to
blood
lunch.
droplets down here.
Can I do
Well, she
something,
did.
or
Huh?
he went to lunch?
Can we
you
see
do
Roger in the camera? Can you see him in there?
Barely. He's off.
Barely. You want to just scoot that over? Just you can see. This is Roger, guys.
How you doing?
Yeah, this is not a good breast. Pretty gnarly thing. Can you see this in the camera? Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty gnarly.
Yeah. It's pretty gross.
Okay. Well, you know, that's where I wouldn't do any aggressive salve on that too much. See how she's blistered up and burning? But is that a yellow salve on there?
No, it's I don't know what she's using. We sent her the
Heel loss salve?
the heel was
Okay.
60 bucker.
Oh, okay. Is there a big tumor behind that? Or is this?
I think that's just this.
Well, this is the thing. If there's not a big tumor behind that, I think she should use the heel loss salve. I know. See, we don't have much of it left. That just
We don't
pisses
have
me
any
off.
of it left.
I tell you what, finding a good herb company to make your stuff, that's a trip.
Isn't that come in the big jar?
Actually, the yellow salve would be better for her than the
Brenda
aggressive black.
Just had to send her
The big black, the black salve in the jug.
Not the black.
It's yellow.
Yeah, it's
That's
yellow.
perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. No, that's perfect. Good. She's on. Yeah, that's good. I think she'll be okay.
I'm going to recommend that she.
Why'd she have her arm wrapped?
Because it's in the lymph node.
Yeah, you can tell it's in the lymph
Oh yeah,
nodes.
it's very. She says her arm's very heavy. I'm going to suggest.
She has lymphedema. Did they do a lumpectomy on her at all ever? Just chemo and radiation, huh?
Mhm. But I'm going to recommend that she take the Heal T.
Let me put that in my.
No, I got to add that to the.
Well, make me one so I can put it in my. So the students can see it.
You
Like,
realize
pick
how
up-
long it took me to draw this? And you want another one?
You're pretty good. You're in the wrong profession,
Very
man.
good. I'm a nipple expert.
Oh man. Well, we want to introduce you to Roger. He is. Some of you are going to get him as an appointment. He's. I don't know if you're as tough as I am, though. Are you?
A lot of areas, yeah, I am.
Yeah. Okay, it's good. It's good. But anyway, skirt that back. I'm going to go on down the line. You want to sit here and help me with this?
Yeah.
All
What,
right.
do you want me to leave it then?
You want to ballast in some way if you can. Can you see us both in there pretty good? Perfect.
We're off and running here.
So we're off and running.
I could be a camera girl.
Can you see it pretty good there?
I can see them both great.
Good.
Neither of you move.
Huh?
I said neither of you
Don't
move.
move.
Do not
Not move.
move. Oh well. Oh, this is from our friend German Eichelt. Nothing. The infection is not the problem. It is only there because of cells damaged by cellular and parasitic waste. You know, I love these people. This kid gets it well because he's talking to somebody, obviously. And I love these YouTubers are getting this. You saw how smart Ken was. The Facebook people, really good. They get this. There's a few there that really get it, and they're going to be the world's greatest healers. I mean, this is what's happening here, and I love everyone on our site here. Just beautiful people. This is Mr. Ant Dion. I remember you. Dr. Morris, the fruit is still having a tremendous peeling effect, especially the OJ. Pulling effect. I assume it's because of all the junk the fruit's trying to pull out. Yeah, fruits are astringent, so when you feel that astringent, if that astringent's too strong, that's when you can back up a little bit. Sometimes this astringent power is real strong, and that's what you see in the lymphatic formulas and everything else. And of course, the fruits are going to be very astringent to him. I will be able to eat fruit and enjoy them. Let me see here. I assume it's because of the junk the fruits are trying to pull out. Am I right in thinking that once the junk is out? Absolutely. That, you're right on, man. You're right on. Because now only 2 days I found to relieve it is to eat salad. Yeah. You know what? That's exactly what you're doing. You go back, and if you want, you can do salads and greens for a little while till you reach their plateau. Their ability, they'll take you down that road till they can't take you anymore. Then you have to step up to more fruits and stuff. So, yeah, you could do that. You definitely could eat more vegetables and fruit, or vegetables until you reach a plateau. By then, you should be able to tolerate more fruit. Because
here's the important too. Lay down and relax once in a while
Yeah.
too. He's got it.
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah.
He's got it. Exactly. But he's had to find that on his own. Then if he lays down and relaxes, everything is good. And I like that. You guys are really getting it because, you know what? We're supposed to have fun, enjoy ourselves, relax, have your joy back, enjoy your life. Don't live in these little boxes. Get away from your mind and enjoy the allness of the now. And you'll enjoy this planet more than you ever have. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Let's see, which I try to do most of the time. I guess this is what you call moving lymph. What a butt kicker.
Yeah.
This is a good guy. I like him a lot. Robert, Wendy would like for you to read this. This is the one. This is Wendy. Wendy has... All right, Wendy. I'm proud of you anyway, dear one. You're a butt kicker yourself. My God, she's kicking butt. I wanted to give you on the YouTubers an update since our appointment 6 weeks ago. I stopped taking my Armor Thyroid completely on June 16th. I am continuing my thyroid glandular and pure kelp. My body temp went another degree up. I'm maintaining a basal temp of 97.4. Yeah. I have been on fruits, greens, and herbs 7 months. Been on Dr. Ron's glandular since 3.5 months ago. We have the pure New Zealand's right from New Zealand, not from Ron's. We got it right from New Zealand. Good stuff. And I'm having the manufacturer make me parathyroids. They are pure. Now, if they can put a pure glandular together, what's wrong with our labs out here? I can now consider my thyroid repaired in only 4 months after 20 plus years of suffering. Big hugs and kisses. Big hugs and kisses to you, Wendy. You did good. Fruit of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace. This is just what it is. Just what it is. Now, this is from Heather. Dear friend, please give to Dr. Morris. Doesn't have to read this on YouTube. It's just a thank you note. Thank you, dear. And who's this? This is from Heather. Thank you, Heather. I love you too, dear one. Thank you so much. Well, keep them praying, right? Yeah, exactly. I tell you, thank you so much for your love, sweetheart. Heather, you know, all you guys, you just hang in there. You just hang in there. There is remedy at this level, I guarantee you. You just have to hang in there and work it. Sometimes in detox, remember you guys, you healers, you got to move sometimes to the right, you got to move sometimes to the left, you increase, you step back. That's the art. That's the art of this. You can't just go full bore, even though I talk a lot that way. You know we have to back up sometimes, more vegetables than fruits. And then we can, like Mr. A, we sometimes have to do vegetables a little more, and then we can do fruits a little more. It's just like we get these kind of cases all the time. It's constantly getting these kind of cases all the time. And you just don't sit there and I don't hold back on these cases. We can't do it.
Nope.
We go full bore. Can't do it because their life is right now. The Ultrasound just went in and destroyed billions of cells in their theory of trying to save someone. I don't understand that theory. But now we have to go in and clean up their mess. And I don't know if people realize this, but naturopaths for 100 years have gone in and cleaned up allopathic messes. Most people never know that. But they come to us after the medical doctor releases them, then we got to fix them up. And sometimes it's exceedingly difficult for us to do that. And all you healers, you're going to run into that, and you probably already are now. And just keep in mind, you do your very best you can. You don't take it in. That person decided to walk down the walk they did. But keep in mind, that's all guided by God and all the other things. So we have to kind of sit back and let everything just happen. You know that old saying, let go and let God? That's another part of being here now. When you let go, it pulls you into the now. Because what are you letting go? The mind. And the mind is nothing but a series of thoughts generated by conditioned what? That'll come back. I've had one worse than that.
Well, the thing too is it puts us in a situation. It gives us a timeline to where we have. We have a deadline to where we've got to turn everything around. I mean, it's just.
It's an excellent point.
Yeah.
Because it does give us a timeline, and not a long one. Where a lot of you guys, you got your rest of your life to augment and change and work it out and come and go and play with that. Some of these people don't. They have a short period. I was telling about the lady yesterday or the day before with a big tumor on her head, 3-year-old girl. She doesn't want to die, and it's like, there's another tearjerker. There's a big tumor on her head. I wouldn't want to pull that out. So it has to go this way, and I don't know. I don't know. It's sad stuff. Sad stuff. Thanks, Heather. Love you.
We're winning.
But we're winning. We are. We sure are, and I love it. Yeah. I'm glad you're aboard here with us.
Right.
Sorry for I not received the reply to my original letter, which is attached. Would you please bring this matter to Dr. Moore's attention? This is my third attempt. Sorry about that, sweetheart. To attempt to, Emma, to hopefully receive an answer. Okay. Thank you for the kind assistance. This is Emma here. Sorry, Emma. A lot has been going on here. I hope to keep up better with this. So I apologize to you, Emma, there. I sent this attached letter via fax. Oh, having you read it on YouTube. Okay, let's take a look here, dear one. I apologize again. Hang in there. Remember, always remember this. If you can't get to us or we're busy and we just can't get to these videos, please call in and get help, because we will help you no matter what. We'll do our very best, in other words.
Let me jump in on that, too. Robert's totally busy. If you choose to do a consultation with me, one of the things that I provide is I have a lot of direct email contact. Once you get set up with me, first thing I want to know, are your kidneys filtering, any healing crisis or anything. I want open communication, because that's not only the best response to where I can respond to person's needs, sure, but it's the most rewarding. And the information that you guys can provide for us is your healing process. We can be shared. I mean, the most information we get is from the healing of I mean, that's the most valuable information out there.
The thing, I've told our friends here that you can't pay for the knowledge you get as a practitioner from who? Your client. Yep. The knowledge isn't in the books. Let me tell you, you all know that already. That isn't where it is. It's in you beautiful people and the process we go through to get you well, and the lessons you teach us. It's unreal. Yep. I'm only giving you what I've learned in 40-some years. Dr. Jensen had 75 years. He almost had double what I've got. And it's like, I look at with him with total honor, because it's like people will never know what it's like to be a healer. And what you have to do when you see pictures like this, but in real, not just pictures, the person sitting right in front of you, and those poor souls, the look on their eyes are full of fear. And we have some of you guys Facebook or Skype the lady the other day. She got a little girl, and she's just full of fear. She's got cancer through her, and all I saw was fear in her eyes when I talked to her on Skype and trying to settle her down, because listen, you have to understand this, and for you advanced people that have this advanced cancer all through you, especially those that have decided to do the allopathic burn first, you just have to relax. You can't identify with your body anymore. You have to identify with yourself, and you get happy with yourself. You separate your body from yourself, and you do everything you can to make it healthy again. You cannot put yourself into a hole, and if it's a time for you to leave this planet, then you must leave it in a very happy, loving way. That's the only way, because we're all going to leave the planet. We're going. The sad thing is when you're a mama with a baby. That is definitely a sad thing. Part of the whole thing against AMA. In other words, this will culminate eventually in breaking this hold the AMA has on people, because this is just another example of the 94% of people that die from chemotherapy. 94%. According to the FDA, only 6% of people survive chemotherapy up to 5 years, and then that goes drastically down, to 2.5? So, you don't want to be any of those statistics. When you're aware of the lymph system, and I think this is one of the real important things we have to do, is get people aware of their lymphatic systems.
Yep.
A system that is ignored by most physicians, and it's a system you can't ignore. And
they go after the immune, and they totally ignore the lymphatic system.
Well, I don't even know how they know how to go after the immune system. Medical doctors going after the immune system is an autoimmune problem, and there's nothing we can do about it. Mm-hmm. That's how they deal with immune problems.
Grab a knife.
Grab a knife. Oh. Anyway, this is from Emma. And Emma, I hope this finds you well. I appreciate you are a very busy man. Yeah, Emma, sometimes when I see several pages of stuff, honey, it's hard for me to sit here because then I take up, so forgive me for not addressing this. Watching your YouTube channel has been a wonderful experience. Thank you, dear, and I hope it helps you tremendously. A profound journey for discovery. Thank you, sweetheart. She says we have 774 videos. We probably have more than that now. Yeah. I look forward to your new videos. Thanks, sweetheart. I love you. And I do appreciate it and apologize for making this the third time. I have for over 10 years sought to understand about different ways to maintain and enhance well-being. In the past, both my husband and I together completed a 42-day master cleanse fast. Now that's pretty darn good. When you can do 42 days on a lemon juice fast, you've kicked my butt. And that's really, really good. So I'm real proud of those guys. Yep. Look at what they've done. 42 days on lemons? Well, that ought to kick out a lot of cancers right there. I have done, I'll say tumors and stuff like that because it's not cancer we're after, is it? We're not after diseases, are we? And that's another thing that we need to understand is get away from the concept of diseases, because if you live in that world, allopathy will chew you up, either as a practitioner or as a patient. Either way, they love their diseases. They're clinging on to them like monkeys on a tree. And go ahead, because we don't believe in them. We understand reality and truth.
Don't threaten their funding.
Don't threaten their funding. Exactly. Now, that's the worst thing you can do. Threaten their funding. Holy crap. We have done colon cleanses and gallbladder cleanses. And I'll say this about gallbladder cleanses. Don't do too many of them. Not necessary. Your stones will come right out and detox anyway. So don't overspasm the liver. Not real healthy to overdo that. Watching your channel has made me even more passionate about the beautiful simplicity of the golden key of detoxification. I love this Emma. She's good. I am progressing well towards the fruits, berries, and melons. Good dear, my one. I would love to put all the enthusiasm and understanding I have for your way of detoxification to helping others in need of such critical previous life regenerating. Suffering of my husband, Lehi is supportive. Oh, good. I have home educated our 13-year-old son, Liam. All his life, I both want and urgently need to improve my family. I am 39 years old. I have been an artist since, Emma, I did read your letter. And we have been looking for the letter. I gave it to Shannon and she claims I didn't. So I have been looking at your original letter. I remember your letter. And I remember your request. Without finishing reading this, I remember your request. I read fine arts at Christ Church College, Oxford University. My finest drawings have been of Native American Indians. It would be a sincere pleasure for me to show you some of my. I love Native American work. Woohoo! You see, I don't. Well, no one's at the camera, but I have a medicine bag, and I love Native American stuff. I'm very eager to become a practitioner. Thanks to just others, I have printers, graphic design software, other tools. Here, great soul. I have been an unemployed housewife. I am in mind, heart, and soul fully. Would you please take me under your wing and enable you? I'll tell you what. I'll finish this up and get a hold of you, Emma. I'll get a hold of you. I have a surprise for you. Danielle, this is, hey, Dr. M, 3 questions. Could you grind seeds in a watermelon smoothie be enough protein to stop a detox? Interesting question. I would say if you did ground too many seeds, you'd probably be backing up on that a little bit, probably. But I don't know. I'm concerned about seeds, you know. And you grind too many seeds, you know, the old cyanide thing. Most seeds have some degree of cyanide and other things. Apple seeds have cyanide. Remember the Dr. Oz thing recently with the cyanide and the apple seeds? Well, I've used a lot of apple seeds and all. It never went down. But, you know, there are people that have had problems with that. So I don't know. I have to say this. Juicing to me is unnatural. It is, though. Juicing isn't a natural thing. You just eat.
Just eat.
A watermelon smoothie. That ought to be interesting. I would never put a watermelon in with bananas. Woohoo! Can you get parasites from wild edibles? Oh, yeah. That's why you should always deworm yourself every once in a while. Really. And have you ever thought about using yarrow in the Heal All Tea blend? No, but you could add it to it. I don't, yarrow, I love yarrow, but it's not one I would add in there, but you certainly could use yarrow on the side, a little bit of yarrow in with the heel tea. You could do that a lot. You could add other herbs in with that tea and make your own tea out of it. That's what I love about herbs. We can all play and have fun with them. They're so much fun. I love them. Life should be fun and playful and everything else instead of so serious and so much pain and suffering. It's just, that's why we're here, to change that. It's truly one of the greatest heal-all herbs. A Ouija board. I like yarrow. I do like yarrow. Do I have that in the liver formula? Can't remember. But absolutely, I'm with you, a Ouija board. Definitely yarrow. Good. And I love them all. I love all the spices. I love all that. I think it's all good. It's all fun to play with, You could put some cayenne pepper on that. Really inspire some healing. Ooh, yes. All right, this is from Dan.
Just shoot right off.
Yeah, it could.
Right through the wall.
You're bad.
Well, you started it.
I know, I did. I'm bad. Yeah, well, first off, I'd like to say that your videos are inspiring to me. Thank you, Dan. Thanks. I tell you what, we just want to keep everybody happy. We want to join with everybody. We want this planet to lift its consciousness up. But particularly, we have way too many suffering people on this planet. Look around. There's so many suffering people. It's overwhelming. And it's like, it's almost they've accepted their suffering in some places. And it's like, please, God, we have all these beautiful groups in Israel and in Lithuania and Romania and Bosnia. We have all over the world. And I am proud of all of you guys. Every country needs you guys to get your healer caps on and start healing the folk. I tell you, really important to do that. You guys are just beautiful bunch of people. Love you all. Yeah, we have our little squabbles with some on here, but you know what? We don't hold anything. Just keep on going, guys. Our society today is so plagued with the practice of Western medicine. Boy, Dan, I'll tell you, we're passionate about doing something about that too, because medicine as a rule is just, it's unreal. It's horrible. And when you understand this use of antibiotics and what it does to you, that alone is the beginning stages of starting your cancer. So it's just, these are all lymph suppressing techniques. And, they just have to learn suppressing isn't the name of the game, and you don't attack God, you learn how to work with it. It's hard to see the truth through the clouded mindset of our culture, which is true. We have a very cloudy culture. I am a 28, and this is guy saying this at 28 years old. Yeah. You see, you and I know this at our age. We know what happens to government. You were big-time government, and we know what's up. But these 20-year-olds are smarter than a whip. I was at a salad place, and this waiter, who was like 19 years old, was a Ron Paul freak, going around telling people about the taxes were being misapplied and everything else, and I'm looking at him going, you smart little kid, you smart son of a gun. 20 years old, and his dad, of course, was a Ron Paul guy. But just a 20-year-old, and I love all these smart young folks. This is super nice. He's a male, and today I'm writing you about my knees and hope that you can be able to help me. At the age of 20, I tore the ACL in my left knee while snowboarding. I had ACL reconstruction, and the following year I tore the ACL in my other knee. Did you write me before, Dan? Because saw someone just a while back had the same thing. Tore one, then tore the other. I retore it. Yeah, this sounds like the one I read several months ago. I retore the ACL in the left knee again, and as it was happening, the same happened at the right. Not too long. This poor kid is getting beat up. He's not a kid, 28 years old, but to me, I'm sorry, you are. I mean, you're young. The past 8 years of my life have been a brutal experience. Oh, sad. Isn't it 28 years old and can't even have the knees? Because, if you don't have your knees, you start appreciating that. It's kind of like if you lose your hearing, you probably appreciate that if you don't lose your sight. But when you can't walk, I've had my knee from the fall, and I look at all these people walking really good. I'm going, boy, you don't appreciate good knees till you have one that's been tore apart. Shrapnel, I have been swelling and stiffness all the time. So immediately that you're having kidney problems. You know immediately you're having adrenal and kidney problems, my friend. And this is something you have to get a hold of. You've got to get your kidneys filtering and move those lymphs, because blood and base chemistry doesn't break down the knees like this, right? It doesn't make for weaknesses. It makes for strengths. But acids have the effect of breaking down and making things weak. Now, keep in mind the parathyroid, because I've mentioned that on this case before, the parathyroid gland. You've got to go into that parathyroid and make sure you're utilizing calcium, or you can't repair the knee. So, parathyroid, kidney, adrenals, get that lymph moving. The swelling just tells you right there that it's your kidneys. Right there. You're 28, total sense. See, if you ever get blood work, check your creatinine. I had a 28-year-old in here, about 6 months, a year ago. His creatinine was 28. He was 28 and his creatinine was 28. 28 creatinine for a 28-year-old? Yeah. Wow. He's already on dialysis, of course. Yeah. All right. I have pain, swelling. I do the best I can, do exercise. I wouldn't do exercise. Now, I remember dressing someone like this, but I would not do exercise on those knees, or you're going to make them worse. Or on that whole leg. I would do moderate walking to where you had to go. I would not do exercise until you got your kidneys in there, or you're going to keep having this problem. Because what people don't understand is you can constantly create more acidosis as you create activity. It's okay to create that if what?
Just mixing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're adding to the heap. You're adding to the lymph problem. You're not helping the lymph problem. Now, I know you're probably already on the diet doing it, but you want to take it easy on the body until it heals itself and then tear it up. But I think you better take a little more time, less exercising and relaxing and working on the kidneys and adrenals and making sure your lymph is. Now, I would also take the bones formula, about 3 capsules 3 times a day if it was me. I'd really go after that. Comfrey, knit bone, all those things. Horsetail, all of those, kelp, all of that it will have a profound effect upon the tissue, getting the parathyroid. Now those are what we should have, is parathyroid tissue, raw organic parathyroid tissue in with the bones formula. That would be the cat's meow, not calcium, not magnesium.
Yeah.
Horsetail, comfrey, and kelp. I do the best I can, As it stands now, they have both been reconstructed. As far as that goes, all ligaments and grafts are currently intact. But can you keep them? That's what you're alluding here, is can you keep them? And the thing is, you have to understand that until you fix the causative problem, you can't expect surgery to hold. Just, you got to fix the causative problem here. The surgeon was good, he fixed you up. But now you have to do repairing as you would before. Now you have to still go back and repair this. That's what people think. Surgeons are miracle workers. Surgeons are good carpenters. But then you've got to go in and heal this. I think surgeons expect the body to heal itself, and it does to a certain point. And that certain point is determined by what? How acidic you are, how well you're filtering your acids out of the body, all these factors, how well you're utilizing calcium, how well you're utilizing your nutrients. What do we have? We have glandular weaknesses. We have malabsorption out there. So we have a whole host of problems that's impacting this. And you also have to consider, Dan, you might even have malabsorption. So you might not even be getting your nutrients into your body. So you have to always consider, why do we go after the colon? Why do we go after the GI tract? And we've been talking a lot, and these are the few people in the world that know interstitial lymphatic constipation and all that whole understanding of the lymph in the wall of things, and especially in the gut wall. So you have to. That's why when you're going after knees and things like this, go after the whole body. Don't go after just one spot. That's not how it works, because you will not be, or will be, minimally successful. You want to be totally successful and have total remedy, you have to go after the whole body as a unit. Treat the body as a one. Just don't go after kidneys and adrenals. Just don't go after the knees with the bones. Just don't go after the whole body, because after all, it is one.
You're just going to chase it.
Just going to chase it.
It'll move.
Yeah, exactly. I know that a strict diet of only fruits and veggies will be beneficial. If it would be nice to have what you have to say. As far as my current diet is concerned, I try to stay away from meat as much as I can. I eat a vegetarian diet probably 8% of the time. That's real good. So the guy's doing really good. But I'll say this. When you are in trouble, or your clients are in trouble, 100% raw. It's like this lady with the breast hair. 100% raw. You don't step down on anything cooked when you're in trouble. That's the problem. Do this. For those who have not experienced this, most of you already have, so you're already way down the road from this. But those of you that are new to the channel, try 2 weeks, 100% raw. 100% raw. Fruits, do fruits all day long, fruits, berries, and melons all day long. Do your salad at night. And for 2 weeks. And then go out and just go eat a normal meal of what everybody eats or whatever you like. Just go eat even go have some cooked food.
Yeah.
Just have some cooked food and then tell me how you feel.
Well, explain to them that it totally stops the detox.
Well, you don't have to tell anybody because their butt's going to get kicked. You see, like these people are writing, it's kicking my butt. These guys are wearing the robe and they're going. And so that's what I say. Try on the different fasts. Someone asked me what's better, a lemon fast or a grape fast. Well, there's one way for you to know the answer to that one. That is do a 10-day grape fast and then turn around and do a 10-day lemon juice fast, and you tell me which one's stronger. We've already done those things, so we can tell you. Like that 42-day lemon juice fast, that had to kick their butts.
You're not making it easy on them.
I'm not making it easy. No, I'm not making it easy on them. Well, these are the new healers of the world.
I know.
And we want them to have every advantage they can have because we must meet, we must meet this allopathy, the intellectualism and the universities. We must meet them with truth, simplicity, but also integrity, honesty, all of those things. Watch how you dress. If you're a practitioner, don't go too far out because you're going to have people in here of every age. And in Florida, you have a lot of senior citizens. They look at you. Do you have shoes on? Do you have shorts on? They're going to judge you from that. And of course, it's judgments, but it's also going to affect how they see you as a practitioner. So you really want to dress nice. You want to, always treat everybody with love and hug them and stuff like this. And, help people and show them the strength of truth and integrity and honesty. We must always build those things in ourselves because it's part of consciousness. It's part of keeping the energy flowing. When you're not with truth and honesty and integrity, that's an obstruction.
People will sense it.
People
they're coming here. They're coming here for security.
Exactly.
That's the
Good point.
The key.
Good point. That's true. And so, as a practitioner, you want to represent our healing art at the top, because to me, we are at the top of the echelon of the healing arts. And it's just, the world doesn't quite know it like they should yet. And they will, because you guys are showing them. Plus, we've had a lot of clients in 40 years show them too. This is Emily. Hello, Emily. Dizziness and illness. Ooh. Hi, Dr. Morris. First of all, thank you so much for making these videos. You're welcome, sweetheart. I just discovered them. Oh, good. Welcome aboard. Appreciate you coming. She's 19 years old. See, look at how many young folks we have working this program.
Yes.
Love you guys. Appreciate it. You guys are doing so much for yourselves. I applaud you. And you guys need this. I feel so sorry that you guys had to come into these genetically compromised bodies like you have. So we weren't listening. My generation isn't listening. I was trying to knock on heads. They weren't listening. The generation before definitely wasn't listening much. You had your select few, but boy, now you have more than ever before. So this girl's 19 years old, have been having some health problems and wondered what could make of them. I have had dizziness off and on my whole life, starting when I was 5 years old. Doctors have never been able to give me an answer as to what causes it. Okay. I have been almost symptom-free for the past few years, bearing a few times I've had allergies. Now listen, how does allergies, don't tell them, no, how does allergies tie into dizziness? I want you to think about it. How does allergies, matter of fact, I have to give you guys, your Facebook people, 4 more questions. I forgot. Look at that. I'm going to come up. It's going to come up with 4 really tough questions. But you notice on all the site, only one person stood up and gave the answer to 4 of them. He said, no one else is giving them. I'm going to give them. That guy, that's a healer. I'm going to, that guy, I like that guy. So, think about this. Allergies, what system is allergies in? The lymphatic system, correct? Now, the lymphatic system is the sewer system of the body that is 3/4 of interstitial fluid. Now, allopathy sometimes separates interstitial fluid with lymph fluid. The lymph fluid's only in the lymph vessels. Oh, okay. All right, I guess. Right? No. Just think. Lymph, blood. Even though the lymph carries water and everything else in it, you still got lymph and blood as your two dominant forces of fluids that are responsible directly for the health of the cells. Water is more of a buffering and the world's greatest medium, I guess. Associated allergies. Now, where does dizziness and equilibrium problems and vertigo come from in the human body? You guys? Cerebellum. Cerebellum, right back here in the cerebellum. This is where you're having your trouble, sweetheart. And that's lymph pressure. With allergies, you know you're having big-time lymphatic problems. So, lymph pressure in the cerebellum. And since it is 5 years old, that's not good. So you really need to detoxify yourself. And I'll tell you, you're going to find some problems with your transverse colon. So you want to clean all this up. Use the GI broom, the stomach and bowel formulas, the lymphatic one, capsules, and then get into those kidneys and get into that adrenal gland and get this whole area detoxified. And that'll pull out, and then any cells that have been chewed on a little bit, it's going to repair themselves. In time, I would do upper circulation and brain and nerve. Those two to restore function back into the brain area. Let's see what else is going on. Let me see here. All right, see, for some reason, this seems to have caused dizziness. Now you know why. Lymph, lymph, lymph. So when you think allergies, think lymph. It's not the blood that's giving you the problem, it's your lymph. But taking a decongestant and probiotics got me back. Decongestant. See, so when I say decongestant, what are you decongesting? Mucus? Now, what system does mucus belong to? Yes, Ollie, lymph. Helpful, but it seems that in the case of allergies, they help somewhat. Well, because allergies, you can't. See, honey, you're trying to treat your problems. And remember, this is that consciousness of Western, not just Western, it's worldwide. Allopathy, even herbology has the consciousness of treatment. We just changed it all for you guys and changed this whole concept of treatment because it doesn't work. I mean, treatment with herbs, no problems. You know, you feel better, you go on in life. But this level repairs, cleans, and gives you years of happiness and stuff like that.
We're doing a circle here.
Are we? I took them a lot as a computer. Yeah, however, I just recently became very sick. I was jogging one evening and suddenly felt dizzy and had to stop. Yeah, see? There you go. You're dizzy. You're again, that activity. What was that creating? More acidosis. It was strange. I woke up the next morning with a rapid heartbeat and I thought it might have been an anxiety attack. However, I kept getting worse and a few days later I woke up with a fever and rapid heartbeat and went to the doctor. Well, you want the fever. Your body just trying to help itself and detox. Why the heartbeat? You know what? When you get impacted here, you're going to affect the spinal fluid. You're going to affect a lot of things going on here. A lot of time, and this could have put enough pressure and inflammation to cause heart rate to go up. And remember, this is all kind of connected to the thyroid, and parathyroid could increase your heart rate, or your body's trying to increase heart rate to bring more oxygen into your body. That's another thing you have to consider, is that the body sometimes kicks up your heart rate to increase oxygenation at the cell level. And that would be
anxiety too.
Well, that's the adrenals. Oh yeah, total adrenals. Well, that's the whole thing. Yeah. Adrenals, kidneys, lymph, backing up into her head.
The circle.
Run the circle, exactly. The doctor also told me she was concerned with my blood pressure, which was high, especially going from a laying down to sitting position. Cerebellum, sweetheart, cerebellum. That doctor should have told you that. She was smart enough to look at this, but that's what's happening. You're having the swinging blood pressure. We've talked a lot to them about the swinging blood pressures. I have never had issues with blood pressure, and you just have swinging. You're going to have low sometimes, you're going to have high sometimes. This is part of what you're seeing from this cerebellum, sweetheart. Got to detox your lymph system big time. That's all I can tell you. It'll clean up your allergies and it'll clean up your dizziness. But again, I would use upper circuit, brain, and nerve to stabilize this. At the same time, you've got to detox your brain, clean your sinuses out. Matter of fact, you might try candling your ears. That might help you right off. I would do 3 or 4 candles per ear, sweetheart, and I would do it in the next couple of days. That could give you some relief from dizziness and stuff like that. She can be highly impacted here. She already is impacted here. So pulling that ear candle should help you immensely there. And should release that blood pressure a little bit. And remember, things always get worse. You know, we think in our lives things are going to get better, but and they don't on people. And you look back and go, well, are we supposed to get older and smarter and things are better? No, you become more aware and you realize where you are. That's the problem. And you realize who your government is. I'm still having dizziness even after all of that, and had to stop taking Mucinex because it felt like it was affecting my heart. See, now you're trying, and I was talking about Mucinex as an expectorant, but you want to use an herbal expectorant. So want to get on the 3-lung tea and start inhaling that. Lungs 2 will help you, but you got to get to your core problem: kidneys, adrenals, lymph, and that'll start draining you out. Clean up the gut, absolutely, and you'll be fine, dear one. And complete at a loss as to what the sickness. It's not a sickness. This is all about what you were born with. Remember, go back to 5 years old. This is all what you were born with. This is your genetics coming and hitting you. And this is all about kidneys, adrenals, and lymphs. And just location. Each location offers you a different experience, as it is in the God worlds. Let me see. As a loss to what the sickness was, because I didn't have a sinus infection or sore throat, just the fever and dizziness. It's hard for me to exercise now because even walking feels like it's sort of, you see what it's doing? What happens is that if you don't listen, God will put you down. Nature will put you right down and put you to bed. It'll make you not be able to walk or do nothing. You see that? And then you have to do what? If you don't, that's why I say, always listen. And I beat myself up because a lot of times, okay, I hear you. It's like, no,
There's that human part.
There's that human part. That's it. The year when I was 5, I had scarlet fever and pneumonia. See, it's a culturing medium you're dealing with here. This is your lymph system. You're full of mucus, dear one. And that builds pressure, and it's just back here in the cerebellum. I ate a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables, no dairy, and recently cut out processed sugar. You know what? I'd do this sooner than later, honey. I'd get on all raw sooner than later and get this done, because you were in the risk of deterioration of brains and brain lesions. And with that particular spot and with your adrenals, that's a setup for MS or Lou Gehrig's or Parkinson's. So break it back from that setup, because you got the setup here for it right here. I see this all the time here, sweetheart. So I'm happy to answer your questions. These are the kind of questions that if I don't get to, you need to call, because you're in trouble here, sweetheart, and you want to fix this now. You don't want to wait. Nothing good ever comes of waiting, especially when it's in the brain here. So you want to get to this now. Get on your raw food diet. Get yourself detoxified, and you'll be doing good. Pull that out of there. Be interesting to see a picture of her eyes and see about her lymph system. This is from Joni. Joni Mitchell? No, that would.
Could be.
Could be. I have fatigue, muscle weakness, paresthesia in legs, CTS, getting better, good, muscle twitching, spasms, ache, have always had clear skin, acne, have always had clear skin, migraine headaches on occasion, swollen neck, lymph nodes. All right. I am writing to you hoping you will respond. I know how busy you are from watching all your videos. Absolutely. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Thanks, Joni. I am a 46-year-old wife and mom to a beautiful son, Marco. I decided to return to school for nursing now. Good. It's a good idea. A lot of need in that. For my son is 10 years old, and I have only 1 year left. Graduate. Go RN. Go RN. Become a holistic RN. I wish we had naturopathic hospitals, and I don't want to use hospitals, but naturopathic hospitals all over the world where RNs that have the heart could have a place to work and feel good about their RN-ness. You know, I told you we have a holistic nursing association in Sarasota up here, and there was 300 and some members at one time. I've lectured to them. Just a bunch of great nurses needing to get out there and help people. And I think this fits perfect. We're going to franchise these centers, and we're going to do it very economically, so you RNs and things that want to get out and start working. RNs are a shoe-in for being good healers. If they can drop the consciousness they learned and understand the limitness of what the limitedness of what they learn, and then step into a bigger field. Nurses are perfect for healers. They're just perfect.
So they can use their tools.
They look and use their tools too. Oh, I think it's a shoe-in for an RN to open up a healing center and start working with people. Even just a little herb shop, and you run it, and then you see people on the side to start, and then you get busier and busier and busier. And we're going to keep a list of all the healers around the world, so someone calls here, we can give them a name to go to. That'll happen as time goes on.
Let's set a plan. All your practitioners out there, find out in your city, to do a tour one day and find out where all of the dialysis centers are at. And then start practicing, and then when one closes up, put your herbal center right in there. I'm serious.
Oh, you're devious, man.
Huh?
You got that, man. That's true. It's true.
Or put your herbals right next door.
Right next door.
Yeah.
Well, here...
Instead of coming in here.
Well, this is why we're on the edge of town here. In this town, there's hospitals and doctors' offices lining the streets. We have 3 hospitals in this one county. 3 hospitals, and there's got to be 500,000 doctors' offices. I'll just tell you this. The medical doctors in this town didn't like me very well for the longest of times. I still probably don't.
You're probably not that popular.
No, probably not either, I know. I am doing well with straight A's. Look at that, this lady's kicking butt. But unfortunately, the program has just exhausted me. Well, that's going to be your adrenals. It's a neuroexhaustion, it's a stress. You want to do your best. You're trying to do your best. You're a mom with a good boy. So I can understand that.
Were you buzzing me?
Huh?
Were you buzzing me?
No.
Oh.
And what are you doing with a hammer, a drill, and a level?
You don't want to know.
I don't want. Yeah, I don't want to know. When I see a woman with a drill, a hammer, and a level, you watch some of those shows.
Those in
Those.
the car.
You ever watch some of those? What is it? DIY network or something?
Oh yeah.
I love those. Well, I'm an old builder, carpenter guy. I was carpenter for years. I still build things, and it's like they got some good stuff there. It's neat how they go in there, and now you see the ladies with the tools strapped on, the drills going in. I shall conquer a fourth.
Yeah, my dad was construction. He did.
Did he?
Oh yeah, I worked with him for years.
Did you?
Oh yeah, I've got all of his old radial arm saws.
No
Oh yeah.
kidding.
The old Delta
Did
DeWalt.
you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Really
that. I've got a 12-inch DeWalt, but it doesn't slide like a table saw because I have a separate table saw. But I like that kind of slide.
radial?
Yeah, the radial, the tie. Well, yeah, but the
Chop saw.
chop saw that slides. and
Oh,
cuts.
okay, yeah.
They make them where they slide and
Oh, I
cut
know.
too,
The-
like a like a table saw.
The Ryobi's got a better
Ryo?
one out than DeWalt.
Yeah, DeWalt. I've got a lot of DeWalts. On May 16th, I met with a naturopath here in New York. There was another lady that met with a naturopath the other day, and I couldn't believe what this lady told her. I mean, this naturopath should just put on an MD behind her name, not an ND. I couldn't believe it. From a naturopath, too. Oh, here in New York, and he took extensive blood work. He informed me that I have EBV. I did have very bad mono at age 19, along with hypothyroidism. And this is the thing. This one girl had vaginitis, and she was trying to, look for bacteriums or virals and things. It's like, okay, but let's get to the root cause of things now. A naturopath should be thinking beyond microbes. Should be thinking culturing medium and what's behind that, the lymph system and acidosis. By now, most naturopaths should be pretty up on that. Low vitamin D, low DHEA, and the inability to absorb my B12. Well, that's the kind of thinking that current naturopaths have. And I can tell you, if you follow this naturopathic thinking, she'll get you nowhere. I can just tell you that. You can take all the B12 till hell freezes over. You can take your D3s, do all that. He also said I tested, oh my God, You need your glasses for that one. Don't even bother. She's got some kind of gene. Bad gene. My God. I was not even sure what this was until I researched it and found out that it was a gene passed down from my parents, which indicates my inability to methylate properly and absorb folate and B12, etc., etc. I don't buy that crap worth a second. I don't buy into that, and I suggest you guys don't buy into that crap for a second.
Well, it's probably, the body's probably resisting it.
Well,
it's crap.
most of this deals with the adrenal glands.
Yeah. I mean,
So this is just get your tissues healthy, and your body will be able to deal with chemistry. But until you do, and remember, most chemistry deals with steroids and hormones. So it's all about the glands and making the glands healthy, no matter what area you're talking about with the B vitamins. And I wouldn't take on, when someone tells you something this negative, I wouldn't take it on too much. Because, again, he set you up for believing something that might not be true. And the problem is once you set something in your mind there, you accept it as truth. I don't accept anything these guys say because they don't have a clue. He then said I needed B12 injections 3 times a week. And vitamin D injection, you need to get your adrenals up. He's trying to sell some stuff here. Look at this. He gave me 500,000 units of vitamin D that day by an IM injection. Are you serious? Honey, just because he's got a naturopath in front of his name doesn't mean he's worth a crap. A lot of my symptoms seem to start after this doctor gave me the shots.
And that's vitamin D?
What? Vitamin D. That's an oil at 50,000 units. Yeah. At 50,000 units, he injected that into her. What was he thinking? Now, this, excuse me, I got to give due respect. And that's what pisses me off. When you see these crap naturopaths out here doing this thing, don't know his name, so no slander intended, but I'm only going to tell you that this naturopath doesn't understand a friggin' thing about health. And this is something you don't do. You don't injecting oils. I don't know what the FDA thinks about injecting 500,000 units of vitamin D. I can just tell you the FDA does not like high oil consumption, at least around 100,000 units, and 50,000 units is a lot of oil going in by one injection. I disagree with that big time. A lot of my symptoms seem to start after these injections. You guys have to start pulling away from some of this bull crap some of these docs are coming up with. Get away from this deficiency thinking, get away from all this, and just think cells and fluids, cells and fluids. When you think that way, you're going to go in, you're going to restore the health of cells, and guess what? Nothing is deficient then. But you can't work from deficiencies when you have weak adrenals and things like this, because then you're taking these supplements, and guess what? No one has ever found remedy doing it. Some people felt better. You don't want to feel just better for now, and this lady didn't even feel better. Kicked her butt in a negative way. That's real risky. And that much oil is definitely going to affect your liver gallbladder. So if you have a little liver gallbladder problem, honey, taking 50,000 units of an oil is definitely could create a little liver gallbladder kick. Could even spasm it. To make a long story short, I have not been the same since. I was feeling tired at the end of my semester. All right, so sweetheart, this is what you do. Get yourself balanced out. Don't listen to that crap. Get yourself on fruits and vegetables. Get yourself on the raw food diet, and let that raw food diet bring you into a homeostasis. Get you into a balance there. Bringing in the right chemistry, the right magnetics, the body then will align itself, kick out the crap, and bring itself into balance. You could use herbs. I would suggest you get the pure raw adrenal from New Zealand here, the glandular, and you get on a glandular for your adrenals. But here's muscle weakness. And this is all lymphatics. What breaks down, like a fibromyalgia, what breaks down muscles? Acids. And it's funny, we pump high proteins to build muscles. And yet it's the acids that break down muscles. Muscle twitching, I would definitely get into my adrenal glands. And I would also get into brain and nerve number 2. And I probably would do upper circulation to make sure it's not a CNS problem, that it's all an ANS problem, which is the autonomic nervous system as opposed to central nervous system. Central nervous system, parasympathetic, sympathetic. Swollen lymph nodes. So what does that tell you, sweetheart? Your lymph is really backed up here. And this guy didn't do anything for you but create more problems. So you just got to pull yourself back. 2 of my best friends are chiropractors, and they felt that my neural systems are from my L5. But what is L5? Kidney vertebrae. Kidney vertebrae. And what sits on top of the kidneys? Adrenals. Your chiropractor should have told you that one. Now, that chiropractor should have told you that, not from a previous accident. If you had an accident, okay, trauma to tissue, definitely a problem. However, what's supposed to happen when you have trauma? After trauma, aren't you supposed to heal? but you didn't heal from this trauma. And I can say probably you already had a weakness there, and the trauma just exacerbated the weakness. I see that more than less. Like a nurse will get on disability and come in here because she pulled her back out lifting a patient. However, when I look at her eyes, I can tell her she has a genetic weakness there. She always had a back problem. And that weakness just was torqued. And this is what I see here too. And so the chiropractor basically is telling you you have weak kidneys and adrenals. And then the swollen lymph nodes tells you the same thing. And then the muscle twitching and everything else tells you the same thing. So all these things are correlated and corroborating the facts that you have weak kidneys, weak adrenals, your lymph system's backed up, and you're even up in here in the central nervous system could be. Especially with the swollen lymphs in the neck, you could have your cerebellum, and twitching can come from the cerebellum too. You could get this sort of twitching. So I would really look at that. I'd look at my parathyroid because you didn't heal from it. If you had a car accident way younger and you didn't heal from that, that was your lymph system. You did not heal because your lymph system was keeping acidosis in the trauma area where you had the accident. It just kept it there, and you can't heal in an acid environment. This naturopath I saw told me to stay away from gyros? What is that?
Chiropractors?
Oh, I see.
Okay.
It sounds like this naturopath has an ego that makes them think like they're medical doctors. That's what that seems to me. So if that naturopath ever tweaks his back and he wants a good chiropractor, well, maybe he shouldn't go to one. What is he thinking about?
He wouldn't be that smart.
He wouldn't be that smart.
No,
that's right.
This one's scary.
This one is scary.
Because he's off the road.
Yeah, he's off the highway here. I agree. Yeah, that guy's scary. Yeah, don't get confused, sweetheart. You went to a bad naturopath. That's all I can tell you. This guy should lose the word naturopath and put up some other word because he's insulting all of us. As far as my diet, I've always eaten healthy and I've been an active runner and work out every day. I have not eaten red meat since age 20. Good girl or guy. Girl, Tony. But did eat wild-caught fish for many years. However, for the past 6 to 8 months, I began a more raw diet. Boy, I would right now. And fix all this stuff up and you'll be good. You get your adrenals up, watch your B12 will go right up with it. Guaranteed. All this will go right up. Your nervous system will strengthen. But get up and move that lymph, sweetheart. I'm telling you, this is all lymph, adrenals, and all the effect that you see on this. Acne, same thing. It's your lymph system. You're just seeing your lymph system. And by the way, every year you live, you'll get worse. We don't get better unless you do something about it. And this naturopath didn't know what to do about it. He wasn't educated properly. Probably didn't want to know because obviously, or maybe he was limited in his spirituality and he didn't want to know more. Who knows? I mean, subconsciously. I have worked in gyms all my life and I am always taught that I needed protein to survive. Well, you need to rethink it. I know, sweetheart, you need to rethink that. That's the biggest lie. And look at all the athletes. A lot of them are in major trouble. We see them here, and a lot of people are in trouble because of this thinking. Now, there's a lot of athletes that have changed and are pumping green drinks and alfalfa. Better athlete. I'd like to see what some of those guys are going to do at the Olympics. I was feeling great at first, but as my semester progressed, I was feeling weaker on the raw foods. You're feeling your adrenals, sweetheart. You're feeling your adrenal glands, your emotions, your adrenals, your nervous systems. I am sure I jumped into the change too rapidly. No, you didn't jump into the change too rapidly, and I would jump even deeper now. I'll jump deeper into the raw food. Don't wait. Go now. I was still able to keep up my activity. Work on your adrenals. Get a raw glandular, your pure raw New Zealand glandular for your adrenals. Do something about this, but don't blame you move too fast to the diet. No, you need to move faster to the diet. I would. All winter here in New York and even the Vatican and Italy in February. I am so weak now and frightened that something is really wrong with me. Just don't be frightened, Joni. You'll be okay, sweetheart. This is all just about your nervous system, your adrenals that control the autonomic, your kidneys. This is all about your lymph system. Just relax. Detox yourself. Jump into a raw food diet. Fruit, berries, and melons all day long. A big salad at night. If it's too strong for you, then do fruits in the morning, salad at lunch, salad at night. And work that. And get your lymph system moving. Now, you're going to feel weak because these don't have neurotransmitters in them. They're just good vibrational healthy foods. So you need to support your adrenal glands. You need to get into the herbs and the glandulars. They'll really help you a lot, particularly one glandular going to be for the adrenal glands. But to really tear that up, I've given you a lot of information on how to read your eyes. You'll get a picture of your eyes and start looking at your eyes and see your own body for yourselves. Find somebody to give you a picture. A friend, take a picture up close or something like that. Oh, here she is. I'm going through. I am scheduled to have my first colonic next week in New York City. I am taking Parasite M, lymph, kidney, bladder, adrenal, endocrine gland. Go, girl! Now she's moving. Shannon was very helpful as far as, oh, thanks, honey. Please give your thoughts to Dr. Rose. I am trying. All right, don't try slow, sweetheart. Jump in. I am tiny at 5'2" and less than 95 pounds. Well, do those herbs twice a day instead of 3 times a day then. Or do, say, a half a dropper, 2/3 of a dropper full. Start out with a half a dropper full of the herbs 3 times a day. Start out low. But we have little old ladies in their 80s that are in 80 pounds. We have some YouTubers at 60 pounds. So we have some serious people, and they're seriously sucking down the herbs. So don't let that scare you. All right, she feels always cold and think calcium utilization problems. Parathyroid, you're right on. You're cold because of the thyroid. It wouldn't be a stretch to know that its brother, the parathyroid, is also having problems. So good point. Good catch. I love these YouTubers. I have studied electrolyte disturbances and I'm worried. Well, don't get too involved in that because that'll take you away from truth. You get too involved in books and all this and like this type of naturopath and you'll get lost and you'll get worse and you'll finally pull yourself out of the forest or you won't. And this is what naturopaths are doing. It's what pisses me. It's another reason we're doing this YouTube. These naturopaths are just like this all over the country. So what they're doing is they're pulling people deeper into the jungle, not pulling them out of the jungle.
All these philosophers,
yeah, it's
twisting them up.
Mm-hmm. So don't get trapped in intellectualism. That's this whole reason I'm doing these videos. Don't get trapped in intellectualism. I did, and I learned not to. And I pulled back away from it, and I lived a happier life ever since, and I've been able to help people better than I ever have in my entire life. That kind of thinking is something I had when I first became a naturopath. Kinda. I took on part of that. Yep. I was a raw foodist, so but I took on part of that. I would have never been that stupid. I knew better on B12 years ago. Let me see, along with adrenal anxiety. You have adrenal anxiety, exactly. My husband wants me to start drinking coffee again, and he can't have his little Energizer bunny back. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I get those raw glandulars from New Zealand. It's really start popping those babies. Oh, and I get that little Energizer bunny back. Yeah, that makes me jealous. I do miss my Starbucks latte. I am a true Italian girl. God bless. Thanks, sweetheart. I called to see about
this at the end.
Huh?
That she put that information at the end.
Yeah.
I've been able to perform very well if she would have let us know at the beginning.
Oh, Joni. But you know what, sweetheart? Just follow this. We'll get your health back for you. We'll help you do it, and you'll get your health back, and then you've learned a big lesson here. And but I can tell you, and even at your age, you know, automatic. If you're 20 years old, you can count on weak adrenals and kidneys, and then you know the lymph is going to be problematic. You can count on it. And if you don't, what are you going to do taking herbs for? Are you going to hurt yourself? That's the beauty of it. You can't hurt yourself. It's all good. It's all good.
It's going to help something.
It's going to help something. So it's all good. It's all good.
I'm going to get rolling.
Okay. You scoot that around a little more.
How long are you going to be there?
Huh?
How long are you going to be there?
I'm going to shoot 2 more hours.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm going to halfway catch up because I'm trying my best. Well, here's more eyes. We got to do some more eyes sometime, but yeah, I'm going to be here a while. All right, go. I'll see you, man. Okay. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
And good luck on that one.
Mm-hmm. I've got her doing.
Make me a picture. I want to put it in my book.
Okay.
We got a class in September.
I've got her doing fruits and everything, and I think that I'm seeing healing on there.
Oh yeah, I do too.
So we're coming around, but it's real painful for her.
Oh God. Well, of course.
And
that's raw. That's what acids do, is just make for raw meat. And that's what that is raw meat.
And that's just the chemo and the anything else can you think of that's coming? I mean, that's...
Well, I mean, it's all going to be lymph and acids anyway. And our lymph nodes are swollen. The problem with that is that until those lymph nodes come down, the breast can't. It's going to be topical. So if it bleeds real good. You know, I had a lady come in with... Huh?
So this is basically, I would say it would be from the radiation where they shot her.
It's possible. The thing is now, sometimes you want to put her on lungs number 2 and clean her lungs out, because there's the next problem.
Yes.
Because most of these they come up with the lung cancer from that. So you want to really get her moving on that, and get her lungs too at the same time, because she had radiation, she's burned her lungs too. You never. I mean,
yeah. Everything. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Keep me posted on that one.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mon.
Okay.
All right. Richard Webb. Much love to you, Richard. Thanks so much, guys. What makes mucus? Well, I can't always say. It's a mucosa. And the mucosa, I just, it's part of the immune system and how it secretes. It's a lipid-based substance, and it's, it's the same thing as semen or anything else. It's a substance produced by the lymph system. And the mucosa designed to protect the body. Not just the mucosa. The mucosa is the first, notice it lines everything, so obviously it's the first line of defense. Well, the first line of defense would have to have some protective devices to it, correct? Well, protection against acids would be more lipids. Water solubles wouldn't stand a chance with lipids, with acids so much. So that's why any of your bees and all that, so you see all the water solubles destroyed at early heats. And the whole thing is, so you understand that it's essential to have an oil-soluble solution to deal with acids. That's why you see cholesterol, a high cholesterol issue in the body dealing with acids again. So you understand these are protective agents. But it's just the process of the body as part of the immune response. The way the body protects itself is mucus. And mucus is a way I would coat this and protect us. Let's say this was an acid that was coming to get me, so to speak. The mucus coats that and protects it. So after a while, the mucus itself can become acidic. And the problem with that happening is that then the mucus goes from slimy to thick. Thick. And I mean mucus can get real thick. And we're having to go into the body with this thickened mucus and pull it out in time enough to save breaths like that and all that implies. So it's a real trip. That's why people have to relax, cut down the exercise, get all on raw, get on the herbs, and really get your body cleaned out. Take a few months off in your life and head down there, especially if you're suffering. It's going to take you a little bit. Some of these people have had problems since they were children. It's going to take them a while to rebuild that and clean that out. But start now. Don't wait. Waiting doesn't give you anything. Thanks, Rich, for your kind words. Let me see. I barely have any. Ooh, saliva and stuff. He barely has any. But what I do have is viscous. You can pull it apart several inches like a rubber band. That's just what I was talking about. And what word would we use when you're starting to lose secretions? Acidosis and dehydration. And so it happens in the eyes when you get dry eyes, wet and dry mac. Doesn't matter, it's all acidosis. It's all going to get you. Dry saliva, dry synovial fluid in the knees. This is all done from acids. There's only two sides to chemistry, for God's sakes. So when you look at that, you understand that this has its effect back to the adrenals and the kidneys again. And this is something you want to really work on, my friend, is getting your body hydrated properly, getting the kidneys, adrenals, moving the lymph, because your mucus is just what I'm saying. It's getting that thick rubber band look. That's that. And remember, you have lungs in there, and you have a heart in there, and you have a bowel wall in there, and you need absorption through that thick, rubbery, that's the problem, see? And you're just giving us all a good look at that so people can see what we're up against with the mucus. And I like I said, I've had several people die on me trying to get it out. We got them back. Actually, we had a quad go through that. We had to run her to the ER because she was choking. The ER killed her twice. Code blue twice. And I told the ER doc, don't give her antibiotics. Do not give her antibiotics. He thought I was a dumbass and didn't listen to me. He coded her. I was so mad I almost took his head off. That's how ignorant these people are. And you're an ER doc, you can't afford to be ignorant like that. Oh, gets me going. Sorry, guys, gets me going. To make a long story short, the hospital dumped her into another place to die. We pulled her out of that place, took her home, bought a suction machine, pulled her, cleaned her up, and saved her life. God. We've had years of stuff like this. That's why I have the attitude I have against the AMA. I've had years of this, and enough's enough. Enough butchering of people. It's enough. It's enough. You can pull it apart several inches like a rubber band, and it's clogging my filtration system, giving me a few cysts on my neck and face, and it's hard to breathe. Okay, so listen, get on the lungs number 2 and get the 3-lung tea and start brewing and inhaling that and drinking that. It'll start loosening up. Pleurisy root, fenugreek, mullein, all these type of herbs help to break up hardened mucus. And the lymphatic formulas and all this. And then, of course, alkaline food, lots of fruits and berries. You have the astringents, but you also have the hydration of the base chemistry. So really would be to your advantage to do that. It'll take you a little while. Don't get frustrated. But this is a serious problem to me. For what the future brings to someone like this that doesn't do anything about it. Thank God, Rich, you're here and you're working on yourself. Good man. I took way too many antibiotics. Here we go. And here's the story. I took way too many antibiotics, anti-inflammatory steroids 3 years ago and had this thing since. No meat, dairy, grains for 2 years off and on. Been on all fruit for 2 months. Is it possible it is environmental? Probably not. Since my cat has the same problem, probably not. But it could be a combination. Could be a combination, definitely. But I can tell you, this is this typical stuff when you see with acidosis, people's kidneys, adrenals, lymphs, not an environmental thing. Could you have environmental toxicity adding to this problem? You betcha. You betcha. And I could say more than likely, if you're seeing your cat having problems, you got a toxic house. And more places are setting up that you can have them come in and detoxify your house. Isn't that funny? We're learning detoxification of bodies, homes, and everything else. Man needs to just hug each other again and say, you know what, let's end the violence and let's end this, and those that don't know how to heal, go find something else to do, and those that do, let's get the healing done. Thanks, Rich. I'd like to cut this video so we can get this posted for you and then start another one, because I'm going to be here a couple of more hours, and then I'm going to come in. If I have time tomorrow, I would like to come in tomorrow and try to catch up on some of these eyes that I didn't get to. But I'm not going to do too many more eyes. I think you guys get the real gist. I want you guys to be able to read them yourselves. They're not difficult, and to read them yourself. So we'll do one more, and we'll really take the time and try to show you all again. And then start practicing. You know, get you a couple books, although the books aren't much help, but get those and learn all you can, and then learn how we cut through that and see for yourselves what's going on. I want to get you guys so knowledged up it's not even funny. I guess I have these kind of thinkings. Hey, Dan again. Oh yeah, we talked about the ACL and all that. I think that's already in here. If not, I'm going to put it in. I'll put it in here. It was very nice talking to you on Monday during my consultation. This is Judy. Hi, Judy. After watching you on YouTube since January, the reason I decided to make an appointment with you is because I heard you say many times that you had cured type 1 diabetes. Matter of fact, we had Ken in here who had type 1. Matter of fact, now keep in mind, you're making a statement that I said cured type 1 diabetes. Again, we're talking about diseases, so we have to be careful about that, because in other words, we've had someone with sugar, had insulin problems, and therefore didn't have enough insulin to carry his sugar through a cell, right? That one, that type of blood sugar problem. You're the only one I've ever heard of say that. Are you kidding? I mean, besides Gabriel Cousins, that $12,000 cost. What? $12,000 for what? Since I do believe everything that you say, I was very excited to find out how you work with people with type 1 diabetes, and I was very excited to start on protocol and follow it exactly. As part of that protocol, I assumed that you would tell me how to stop taking insulin without me becoming too acidic. Well, maybe I shouldn't have assumed everything, but I think you can understand why I did. If you say you have gotten people off of insulin, well, you can get off of insulin, oh, big time. I would think that you had a way of doing it. Not that way. The only way I've ever done it is health and healing, not by giving you an herb or something. Like the pancreatic formula has sugar-controlling herbs, but that would be more in type 2. And let's just use these types, not as a disease, but as a difference between adrenals and beta cells. All right, between sugar metabolism and the production of insulin. That's how you want to look at that. A beta cell problem or an adrenal gland problem. Keep in mind with some of the type 1s, you've got neurological type 1s. So you've got that to consider as well. And so I would always work on the nervous system in type 1s, always. But I don't have anything magic, no way. And matter of fact, type 1s, well, type 1s and some type 2s can give us a fit because of insulin pumps and brittleness and genetics and all those sort of things. But everything is very curable, dear one. We've had a lot of type 1s walk away. But I don't have a magic elixir. It's all about health of tissue, health of the pancreas, health of the nervous system, health of the adrenal glands. Matter of fact, we have a lot of other contributing factors to type 1, like parathyroid and calcium. Remember that too. So getting the body healthy as a whole is the key to wellness and not treating some disease. You see what I mean? I received your protocol of the herbs and glanders and very much respect the choices you made, but I feel like a huge part of the puzzle is missing. I hesitate to spend hundreds of dollars on herbs and glanders when without knowing how to get off of insulin. I wouldn't achieve the goal I had hoped for from my consultation with you, which was to heal type 1 diabetes. I don't know what you're talking about. You're asking for me to give you something that's going to stop your blood sugar problems? Is that what you were looking for, dear? I mean, you're making something here. You've got to work the program. You're assuming someone has a magic elixir here, Judy, and they don't. You've got to work your health issues. I've never claimed any claim other than you're working your health issues. I did learn a lot from you about my parathyroid cyst. However, I have to say that I feel quite let down and disappointed and don't know how to proceed from here. I thank you for taking the time to read this and hope to hear back from you. Much love, Judy. All right, so let's look at that. Judy, you got to work it. You got to make yourself healthy, dear. I'm going to give you the tools, but I'm not going to walk your walk for you, and I don't walk the walk for anybody. That's not how it goes. And none of your healers want to, and don't take people's problems on. A lot of people expect you to be the wonder person of the world, and it's not going to happen. You are in terms of giving them the answers and giving them the ability to find remedy. But no one's going to do this for anybody. So if you're out there working your health issues, don't rely on me or anybody else. Rely on the information, the knowledge, and work the program. That's what you got to do. And in my appointment with anybody, that's what you're going to get. It's what you got to do to get well. I'm not going to give you an herb to say, this is going to treat your diabetes. There's no way that's going to happen here, and never has happened here. It just doesn't. We don't work in that way. That's not our way of thinking. Now, how do you get off of insulin when you're on insulin? Well, there's two ways. Either you have to control this or your medical doctor has to control that. If you're afraid to ask your medical doctor, then you have to take the responsibility on yourself. You have to learn how to cut down your units. You have to learn how to work your pump. Or like some lady said the other day that she's got the new pod, which works so much better. She's able to control her blood sugars better because now she's away from the pump and everything else, and she can adjust and play with the pod as she's needed, and she's only down to a few units as it is. So that you can see that. You can get down and down and down in your units till you're only a few units, and then you're off of those. So it works in different ways for different people, but you got to work the program. If you're disappointed about that, I apologize. You probably expected me to give you something that would suddenly cure you. That doesn't happen. We've never promoted that and never will, because that's not the case. You have to work your health programs here. I gave you every tool to achieve this. Every tool to achieve that. Now, if you want to know how to regulate your insulin and you're asking me to do that, I can go to jail for that, dear. So if you want me to go to jail for you, okay, I guess I will. But really wouldn't like to, because I can't tell you about it. I can tell you that if it was me, I'd be cutting down my insulin as my blood sugar cuts down. As I'm able to get more insulin production, as I'm able to rebuild my beta cells or my nervous system controlling beta cells and my blood sugars. And some of you brittles where you're swinging, you have to play the game here. So Why don't you get on YouTube, Judy, and ask Ken to help you? He's a type 1, and he's kicking it in the butt. So you might ask him to help you if you don't think I helped you enough. But I can't tell you what to do with your insulin. That gets me in trouble. Now maybe that New York naturopath that recommends all that might be happy to help you. That would be okay, but I can't do that and not get into big trouble. I can't tell you what to do with any of your chemical medications. If it was me, I could tell you what I would do with some of them for me, but if I didn't give you what you needed, you should have asked. Hey, Dr. Morris, burn in my stomach back. It's getting seriously out of control. Oh, yeah, I wanted to read this one because this guy's this is the Ouija bird again. You know, I've been following you, Ouija bird, and I want you to also in your consciousness let things go. I want you to surrender more. That's the message I'm getting with you. You're fighting in your consciousness. And so I want you to just surrender more and let go and let the energy flow through your body better. That's on one level. The other level here, I don't know, when you have lymph this bad that you're burning from in the wall out, this is the worst type. We've all talked about these 3 different types of what they loosely call GERD. You know, you have true GERD, true acid reflux. In other words, you have a situation where your pancreas might not be giving you the bicarbonate that you need, and therefore your hydrochloric acid, when invoked, cannot properly be neutralized. That is problematic, and that can ulcerate or cancer tissue, no question. And you have the sulfur type of GERD, which you get a lot of sulfur in the gut, you really feel that. But the most common is the worst, and that is interstitial lymphatic constipation. Now that one, that's a mean one, because that's acid sitting interstitially burning on you. Thank God we've got, you know, cholesterols and things to help us to a point. So from that standpoint, your detoxification through the kidneys and adrenals and all that are super key, because you won't find true remedy to that burn until you get those acids out of there. So that's GI broom if you can tolerate it. That's stomach and bowel formulas if you can tolerate them, because that's full of slippery elm and marshmallow, and these are gentle formulas. But some people's burn is so intense, even the gentle formulas are hurting. So this is real problematic and real serious of a problem. But you have to find a way to work your lymph system and get your lymph system moving. You got to find the fruits that you can tolerate or whatever to move your lymph system. If you can tolerate water, go on a water fast. But then you can feel water. Sometimes water will even make your stomach hurt. I wouldn't take water down that doesn't have a 7.5 to 8 pH at least. I wouldn't take acid water down when you're burning like that, because it could, even water, exacerbate the pain. Now with that said, anti-inflammatories, healing herbs, comfrey, one of the biggest healing herbs on the planet. Hell with the FDA. Comfrey, they don't have a clue. They should be sued over that. Tons of herbs have that alkaloid in them. Tons of herbs. They don't hurt. They're nothing. They can't prove crap. This is just bullcrap. Comfrey, one of the greatest healing herbs on the planet. All right, what do you got? Mullein, anti-inflammatory. Drink it down. 3-lung tea could drink it down. That 3-lung tea could be good for you because it has, you know, pleurisy root, mullein, and fenugreek. Could be gentle on the mucosa, but pulling on the mucosa. That would be good. Slippery elm, marshmallow, one of the greater anti-inflammatories. So these are healing herbs full of mucilage. So very healing to the mucosa. Things like that you might have to do. Now keep in mind there's nutrition in these herbs, so you're getting health from that too. But you might have to be a little gentle. Get fresh aloe. Get some fresh aloe vera. Love the plant, thank you dear, and scrape those leaves and make you a little shot glass with some aloe in it 3 times a day or every 2 or 3 hours if you have to. You might have to take teas every few hours to get this healing going on in the gut tissue. Keeping in mind always interstitial lymphatic constipation. Key, very important that you look at that. And be dealing with that while you're trying to heal that pain in that gut, because there's no other way. There's no other way on the planet to find this remedy. You can't do anything like Pepto-Bismol and all the suppressive drugs that are out there, Zantac and all this. This is what's created some of the deeper problems, is the use of these antacids. They're not true antacids, these suppressive antacids. This is why you've seen a lot of stomach cancer with them. So you have to be very careful how you approach this issue, my friend. Really, a Ouija board, you want to be real careful. If you have to, call in here and have Jennifer or someone help you work yourself slowly out of this. It's getting seriously out of control again. Now, you could be in a healing crisis. You could be. I hate to think that way because, you know, not everything is healing crisis. You can get worse. There's no question. If you can't get these acids out of these tissues, you definitely can get worse. Don't think you can just eat raw foods and that takes care of everything. That's what I thought 40 years ago, that you could just eat fruitarian life or raw foods and that's all you needed. Let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. The old Hippocratean thinking. I love that. That's in clinical practice. Right now in today's world where you have 5-year-olds having problems and tumors in all these kids and all this, you ain't going to do it with just fruits and vegetables. Look at the quality of what we've got. Everything has went down. Your herbs are the key, and glandulars, for me, very helpful in our situation. It's getting seriously out of control. I have been raw fruitarian for 7 months now, done 3 7-day grape fasts. 3, you're doing the do here. Maybe slow down a little bit now and give yourself a little break with that then. And just do some of these healing herbs there, okay? It doesn't matter how much heal all tea, slippery elm marshmallow I drink, the burn continues relentlessly. Then it's interstitial. Then you just got to keep pulling on that lymph system. And remember, kidneys and adrenals, that's the doorway. Now, you could have lymph nodes that are not allowing your stomach to drain yet. And this is the problem. You all got to remember this, and all your healers out there, I want you to remember this. Cell lymph node kidneys. Cell lymph node kidneys. What happens, what were we just talking about, to mucus? If it's too acidic too long, dehydrates and dries and become rubber? Think about what's in those lymph nodes. Rubber mucus. Now this is the problem. Some of these lymph nodes will decay after time. If you have decayed lymph nodes around the stomach, it might be hard for you to remove these acids out. Or you might have this thick rubbery mucus. Since the lymph nodes have been stuck for so long, this could have been that case. You're just having a hard time breaking these lymph nodes loose. So either way, you just got to keep going and working yourself toward Wellville, because I personally have no other answers for you. There are none. They're none on this friggin' planet. You know, you can get into crystal healing and other levels out there, at levels that this planet hasn't seen, but I don't know how to use them. They trained Dr. Jensen for years, and he still didn't know how to bring that information to this world. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. All I can tell you is that you could use some external clays maybe. You know, we do that in Europe, so you could use some external clays here. You know, reaching in where the cells are interstitially and getting all that to drain is a friggin' trip. It's a trip. But it's the only true remedy that's out there. And you're seeing it through the YouTube, those that are fighting it, and those that are winning, and those that are struggling. Just hang in there. Like Judy, you too, hang in there. Don't blame that. Don't try to think you're going to get the answers and it's going to be something you can do right now. This is all like this. Rolling up your sleeves and tearing into the health of your human body. That's all the answers I have for you guys. That's it. Except, let go and let God. Be now. Be in the now. Live in the now. Stop thinking. And absorb into the God state of consciousness. That way you see more, know more. Your answers will come more from the Supreme Being itself as opposed through this channel. That's all I can tell you. I don't know. We only have so many tools, and it's just the degree we've got our human bodies to. That's been my bitch all along here, is the degree we've allowed this allopathic medicine affect us. We keep hoping it'll do something for us. Just like this lady's still thinking allopathically. You didn't help me. You didn't give me, how do I get rid of my insulin? Yes, I did. I told you exactly how to do it. You might not have been listening, but I did tell you how to do it, and that is restore the health and function of your body. Beta cells included, everything, nervous system, everything. Because there's no other way. We don't know all of it. Matter of fact, we know less now probably than we did before. I don't know what to say about it. My doctor prescribes antacids. You can't do antacids. This is the problem. In doing antacids, you might have to get away from totally not eating for a while and just relaxing and doing whatever you can or consuming whatever you can in whatever way you can. and some very doggy nerve pills to stop the pain. Well, I wouldn't put you past that, though. You could use some pain pills to help you while you're in this trouble. I'll say this, though. You could have a healing crisis in that stomach that all that pain could come back like this, raging and warring. Then you feel nauseated, and then you feel sick, and you throw up wads of mucus and mucus out your stools, and suddenly the pain is gone. You can have that kind of healing crisis. So hang on there and keep doing everything you can to cool all that down and to move lymph. Kidney and adrenals, big part of that. Don't ignore that. You've got to get into those kidneys and adrenals. Now, the burn continues. I had just had some results from my ultrasound. It showed an abnormal amount of gas in my duodenum and colon. Had some crystal stones in my bladder. My lungs, gallbladder, liver, pancreas were fine. For some reason, they missed my stomach. You went in there for it, they missed your stomach. I'd make them go back and do it again. The trouble is, you want to be careful. What do you have, an ultrasound? Yeah, an ultrasound. Well, you could go and have another ultrasound. This time, do the stomach where the pain is. But keep it in mind that you can't see acids until you can't see the lymph system through ultrasounds so much or x-rays of any type until you get enough hardness to give enough density to get those waves to bounce back so we can see an image. So and by that time you got a friggin' tumor. So don't get upset if they don't see nothing. That is more confirmation that it's interstitial lymphatic constipation for you, man. But with that said, the fact that you have some stones in your bladder, it's just acids. This is just acidosis, pulling calcium out of your wall. You don't want that because in time your wall will prolapse and your bladder will prolapse right down on you. And on a male, that's you got to be careful. Females, I feel sorry for them too because their bladder just comes out. Ugh. My doctor, okay, let me see where we are. I do not take these medications and the doctor doesn't know I eat tons of fruit. I have just researched this gas and it seems to be linked with candida. Well, let me say this about that. If you're getting gas, that's not candida. If you're getting gas, that means you're fermenting your foods. That's where your candida will come in. And it's just a natural process because who creates fermentation? Yeah. And you need that because birth, life, and death. Birth, life, and death. And that's everything on the planet has birth, life, and death. Everything. You, me, wood, everything. All these atoms just go through a recycling bin. But what does that suggest? If you're getting gas when you're eating fruits and vegetables, what does that suggest to you? Fermentation. In other words, you're not digesting properly. Well, what organ digests fruits and vegetables? Pancreas. The same pancreas that gives you bicarbonate. So let me tell you, I'd be looking at my pancreas. Might want to take the pancreatic capsules here a little bit and perk up my pancreas. I don't know if you're on those, but I would do that, my friend. Hit that pancreas and see if that'll be helpful to you. Do we have your eyes or do I have your eyes? Candida is not the cause of stomach ulcers and acid reflux. This is the problem. It's just another friggin' problem in the human consciousness. Candida is the cause of every single problem on the planet. A lack of sufficient water is the cause of every single thing on the planet. I mean, you have these people that just can't get off it. It's like Hilda Clark, blaming bacterium and microbes for all the problems. Well, she should have been a medical doctor because that's who else blames that on him. That's like blaming God for everything. Well, you can because this is all God. Look what you did. Oh, I'm sorry. This is all inconclusive. Well, don't let it be inconclusive because I can tell you. Do we have your eyes? Get a picture of your friggin' eyes, Ouija board, and let's take a look at them. A lot better than an ultrasound. You did 21-day water fast. You're doing a lot and I'm real proud of you, Ouija board. You've got a tough situation going on. Don't freak out. Could be a healing crisis because you're doing so well, or it could be you're pulling this stuff up. You're pulling this stuff up, and it's all acid burning you, you know. I wouldn't doubt any of this, but I'd take a pancreatic formula on top of what you're doing. Always hit the adrenals for the steroid power and the neurotransmitters. My symptoms never went away, eased considerably, and for the first week of refeeding, I thought it was going to be okay, as the pain was pretty mild. I have done everything by the book, ate nothing but the fruit, but don't blame this on that. It's your body, and it's what's going on in there, and it's what you're having to deal with. You're getting it, but this program isn't I'm on it, I'm cured. This is work. You've got to work yourself out of these things. I mean, not everybody has these deeper problems, but a lot of you do, as you're seeing, and it's, you know, it's sad. But it's the human condition, and look around. We're a result. If anybody gets mad at me for down on the medical profession, just stop and take a look. Where we're at in our health issues, because who's dominated the health scene? Who's told people how to eat? I had done everything by the book. I am on a full herbal program now, have 3 months worth of lymph, 1 capsules, kidneys. Now these are all strong things. So there's a time those lymphatic capsules might pull on the stomach a little bit and feel that a little bit, because these are real strong. You're all the way up on stomach and bowel number 4, which amazes me you have to be that far up. Generally with that much inflammation, you are pooping more than less. Or you could have the opposite, severe constipation. You're on everything good, man. No acid fruits, only watermelons, bananas. I think you're on a real good, no protein, and I think you're doing really good. Don't get frustrated. All I can tell you, see how it's going back and forth? And you can see some of these YouTubers. Look at the lady with the vulvodynia, and look at all these. A little back and forth toward the end, little back and forth, and then you start getting better, and you keep going down that world. Yes, it can come back with a vengeance, generally in a healing crisis, though, and it could be that you're in. We'll see. My family wants me to stop and be normal. How can you stop and be normal when stopping being normal right now could yield you big-time stomach cancer? I don't think so. And then what would you do for stomach cancer? Same thing you're doing right now. Or you could have had it cut out. Don't think you're going to like that one. Take the medical route and eat a so-called normal diet. Well, your parents just are, obviously your family is just out of the loop. They don't get it. And unfortunately, that's more the case than less the case. And it's too bad. Your family needs to get on the YouTubes and read for their own health, because let me tell you, you're a genetic imprint of them, so they should be looking at themselves saying, what did we give my son here? Sleep on, and I am on the verge of a nervous breakdown. All right, Ouija, relax. Relax, man. Just relax. I know you're in pain. Just relax. Relax. And you just slow down a little bit. You just have to go on a little marshmallow slippery elm tea thing, but keep in mind there's only so much that can do to the mucosa. This is a burn from the inside out. You've got to get into that inside, and that's a trip. And that inside is around the cells. This is interstitial fluid. This is all about kidneys and adrenals, not filtering. There's no other where. There's no other place that this lymph system has to deal with. The lymph system doesn't dump through the colon wall like you would think. You can pull it through, and in detox, the body does spit it through. But in reality, it's better to go to the lymph nodes and then to the kidneys, because remember, these are about 3 pH acids. You're feeling Coca-Cola burning your stomach, basically. You know, and it's not good. It's a bad burn. I realize that. You can't just, if you take the stomach out and shake it out, I don't know. Could this gas be fruit and fungal issues? No, but you're on parasitism and everything. But this suggests a fermentation. This suggests a low digestive enzymes. And I may bite my tongue, but if you had to, you could get some good quality digestive enzymes and use it every once in a while just to see if that would help you alleviate, and then you would know it would be the pancreas. And I didn't say that. Could this gas be da-da-da-da-da? I also read in Dr. J.R. Christopher's book that a teaspoon of cayenne 3 times a day will quickly cure stomach issues. Well, you could try that. I know what they say. That's what we were laughing about, that breast condition there. I told him we could put cayenne pepper on it. if you do, I would be real gentle first, Daniel. Real gentle first with it. I'm one of those that, but people have done that to heal ulcerative tea. I wouldn't do heavy cayenne pepper, but real light. You could do that in with some marshmallow tea or something. See if you can get a healing. I would definitely try to find some comfrey, and I definitely try to do some comfrey, some raw comfrey here. Comfrey is a major healer. Comfrey and oh, come on. Been a long morning. Golden seal. Comfrey and golden seal. You find those two, and those are real powerful healers. Comfrey's again, knit bone. So real powerful for that type of problem. Remember, to me, this is a burn from the inside out. This is not a burn on the mucosa, unless you absorb some chemical that's highly acid and it's just soaked in and sitting there burning you. But that would still be interstitial. See what I'm saying? So if you have to, call Jenny, Daniel, and see if she can help you any better than that. I feel for you. I know you're having a problem. I know. I haven't forgot your case here. Oh, good. This was Heather. She's going to a professional iridologist tomorrow with a very good camera. Cool beans. We'll probably just email them. Okay, we'll take a look at your eyes, sweetheart, and see what you're doing there. Thanks, Heather and Parker. Parker's Heather's son. Cute little Parker. Thanks for your art. Just hang in there and get your health. I mean, we all have to work toward this goal. But from the spiritual side, and I don't care that the gentleman that doesn't want the spiritual side, I'm sorry, it's all interlocked. And you don't want to get too offensive to spirituality, because that's your happiness. You can't find happiness in creation, let me tell you. It's just the game at hand. You can think your toys make you happy, but it's really short-lived, especially if they have payments on them. But I'll say this. You have to get into yourself. You have to find time to spend alone, by yourself, away from TV, away from the computer, away from everything and everybody, and contact yourself. Be alone with yourself. You're always alone with yourself, but we occupy that aloneness with all these images. And the more images, the less alone time you have, so you forget who you really are, because you're too busy identifying with what you're creating as opposed to who you are. So take some time to do that, because there are some people that you can't save. There are some people it's your time to go. Some of you advanced people, it might be your time to take another ride. Well, guess what? You're headed toward a better adventure. Remember, a lot of us have been travelers out of our bodies, and we can tell you exactly what some of these worlds are like, and they are unreal. Don't know what your next experience is going to be, because that's your journey. But I will say that what you create, you have to pay for. If you think you just create and no big deal, that's a big problem, because you have to pay for it. This young man doesn't like the word karma, so let's use the Jesus thing. You reap what you sow. Now, if you don't like that word, I don't know what to tell you, because we all must learn that. Is that our experiences are directly related to the Creator, and you're the creator of your own universe. So just look around. What you see in your life is your creation. Now, I will say that you did come into this body. You chose this body to come in with, and now I've given you the tools to help repair it. And we're standing here with you and helping you repair it. Those of you that are very serious and like Ouija here, Daniel, that's in pain all the time, keep working with us through the clinic here, because don't wait for me to get back with you on this channel. I'm just doing the best I can do to keep up with you. As you can see, I've been here 3 hours. That's what's left. There's no way I'm going to be able to help you all this way from this site. So please take that into consideration. But keep in mind that the information that I'm giving someone, there's many of you that have similar problems, and this should help you too. This information is also for all your healers too, because you're going to run into cases that don't feel like they're getting help, or they don't, like Daniel, he's fighting this because he has such a bad, plus his family's keeping his nervous system like this. And his family would be better off to just put their arms around him and love him and trust him for what he's doing. But go through the traditional way. Have your stomach cut out. When my mother or dad says that, I'm going to smack them. Of course, I'd have to go under the ground and get their bodies out and smack their skeletons. They're away gone having fun. So if it's your time, enjoy the ride, because there's so much more fun outside of this little crappy world. But it's beautiful. It's okay. But look at the human state. Look what we've done in the human state to this planet and to ourselves. Did you guys catch the America's Got Talent? And the artist? And he drew all the animals of the planet, and then he drew the well and the eye of God and the tear. I loved that artist. He was good. I also loved the winner. You see the guy with all the strings going up into the balconies, and he's playing, and he brought that singer on, and they played the Who song. That blew me away. I would go find him and listen to his concert any day. He's way out there. Really good stuff. Dear Dr. Morris, thank you what you're doing so much. Thank you so much. Your YouTube videos are priceless. Thanks. I hope so. I heard. Now listen, I want to thank someone personally who took 8 months, I understand, to categorize this, all these under different names, so people could find what they wanted on the videos. I love you, bro. I don't know what to tell you. My heart goes out to you. Our love is to you. If we can help you in any way, contact us, and I'll help you any way I can. You did a great service for mankind to look up these places. They can go to these sites. They can figure out what they need, because these are long videos. I do ramble sometimes. There's no question about it. So forgive me for that. It's just me. And yes, when you sit on the practitioner side, just ask Ken what he saw just in the week and a half he was here, and the kind of stress and the kind of things we deal with. So, you know, I respect all healers that are working at this level, because this is a selfless level that a lot of people don't have any gratitude. You have all gratitude, but you're a different breed of people. You're a very spiritual bunch of people and loving. And so that kind of power and energy helps us all do well. So we need your love. You know, the world needs all our love. The doctor didn't even, let me see here. I was relieved that I didn't have to worry about sugar level. I'm not diabetic, but my blood sugar was on the high end of normal range on June 21st. I was concerned. The doc didn't even mention it, though. I obtained a copy. Warning, I couldn't seem to ask my questions without a history. Sorry, it's so much to read. Oh, let's try this. Should I take chlorophyllin? Should I be concerned about what is wrong with my stomach, or just detox? Who's this? Oh, this is Ellen M. from St. Petersburg, Florida. Hey, St. Pete, right up the road, dear one. What's chlorophyllin? Chlorophyll, I don't mind you taking chlorophyll on the side. Not really necessary, but you could take some chlorophyll extra on the side if you want. Should I be concerned about what is wrong with my stomach, or just detox and relax? I would suggest you just detox and relax. Sometimes if you get too concerned, you can start doing some wrong things, like allopathic removal of stomachs. You have to be careful with chemical suppression of the pain. That only leads to lock it into the cells more, and the result, what I call the residual kick, isn't something you want to know. So you really want to understand the basic cause of why man has symptoms and address that basic cause. And it's the same with you, Daniel, with your stomach. We got to get your kidneys and your adrenals moving that lymph. But then we're looking at an interstitial lymphatic constipation all the way up. Remember, when you have interstitial lymphatic constipation, it's systemic. It's head to toe. It isn't just in one place. It's all over you. This is why when you do chemo and you're killing billions of cells, you start to form lots more cancer. It isn't your cancer moved on you. That's their little trick to let you know it's okay, we can kill you, but oh no, we're going to blame it on you. That's allopathic trip all along, is blame it on the patient. Don't put the attention toward us. So relaxing is really a key factor in this. Yeah, you're doing something for it. You're not relaxing and doing nothing for it, dear. You're relaxing and doing something for it. You just have to relax and let time be your friend. Because some of these, even though you're in pain and discomfort, you guys, Time has to be on, you have to allow time to work. There's no quick remedy. That's the problem. We've looked for quick remedy. The problem is that remedy has cost us dearly. Cost us dearly. And it's just not worth it in the future. It's worth it tackling your problem right now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Start right now. Tackle it right now. So tomorrow is your fun day. Okay? And it will be. I know you don't have a picture of my eyes. Now for some history. For approximately 1.5 months, I've been eating very close to 90%, if not more, fruit and very little else. The balance is hard to measure since severe stomach, esophageal, gastric, per GI, pain, and also bloating, which I have been feeling, but ignoring since fall, deprived me of an appetite. Yeah. For months before I started eating raw, all my family craved was fruit. All my body craved was fruit, mostly smoothies like I made with water. Applesauce, pudding, and soup. Interesting. A few weeks ago, I finally took notice when 2 bites of a banana made me feel as if I had eaten a cow. Yeah, you're not digesting well, dear. Could be pancreatic. We would see with your eyes quite what it is, but let's look. I like history in an appointment. When we're on the YouTube going through that whole thing, you can see how I can spend an appointment time just going over your case, and that's not fair to other people. So it's just, it's nothing negative to you. It's that when you have tough cases, you definitely want to call us and let us help you that way. This time I felt concerned because I was drinking water, my morning smoothie, a little carrot juice, and eating a few cherries. Well, right here, I'll give you an example. You were drinking a smoothie, a few cherries, and having carrot juice. You're going to create gas and bloating doing that because carrot is totally way out there. So you really, the combination you're doing here could be causing some additional gas and bloating. And particularly if you're having your fruit near the pudding and the soup, but I would definitely nixay on the pudding and soup. Now, if it's a vegetable soup and you want to sip it, okay. You know, especially if you have distress and something like that, sometimes a vegetable soup is good for you. I have been so bad that I recommended chicken noodle soup to one lady, 70-pound, 80-year-old lady with major lung cancer. I ran her raw I kept her alive from 74 to 86 with aggressive lung cancer, and I got her out of bed, I got her driving her car, she buried her husband, buried her dog. I kept her alive so long she died because she didn't want to live anymore. But you've got to be careful about, and I'd give her chicken noodle soup once in a great while just to give her that oomph and that desire to live a little longer. It's an interesting case. I love Rainier too. I love Rainier cherries too, dear. They are good, aren't they? I fear I needed to eat more. I didn't like eating if I'm not hungry, and I hate the feel of extreme bloating. I know, and digesting. When you're bloating on fruits, you know you're doing one of two things. You're either pulling aggressively on the mucosa, but I find more than not, you're probably not digesting them properly. So I'd say this. Keep your fruits definitely away from vegetables or anything else, and keep your melons away from them even. So compartmentalize your foods that way, and then super chew. Chew, 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 and work on your pancreas. Get the pancreatic capsules or whatever. I can't remember what we gave you and all that, but do that and try to get your pancreas. But if you were here, I would have taken a picture of your eye. So I don't think you were here. I drink at least 5 to 6, 16.9 ounces of bottles of water daily. Well, that's a number one mistake right there. That's going to bloat you up right there. That's not how you should do it. You know, when you're acidic, water will only bloat you. So when you're acidic like this, you're not going to hydrate with water anyway. You're going to hydrate with the fruits. So I would be leaving the water off and getting my water through my fruits. If you're thirsty, go ahead and drink a little water, but you're drinking too much water. Whoever wrote that book ought to have had his ass kicked, because what he's done is bloated up a lot of people, and in some cases probably killed them, because you can start too much water, you can start feeling your lungs fill up, and that's a problem with those with a severe lung toxicity or lung cancer. And one of our problems is keeping the lungs aspirated so they can breathe. So you're drinking way too much water, dear. And I think your combinations are too close together. Drink right before bed, and when I get up, sometimes in the middle of the night, I'm usually thirsty in the a.m. Sounds like you're really dehydrated. But you would be in a highly acidic condition. And you wouldn't have this problem unless you were highly acidic. And we're going back to Daniel with the same thing. We've got a couple cases here, guys, today dealing in GI tract interstitial lymphatic constipation and the result of acidosis and pain and swelling from that. Also, you can remember that the GI tract is simply a tree. And off of that tree is the branches of the pancreas, the spleen, the liver. You go on up at the lungs and all branches of the gut. And remember that you're going to be involved there. So if you have interstitial lymphatic constipation in the stomach, would you have it in the liver and pancreas too? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, if any of these tissues are genetically weakened, you're going to have more lymphatic problems in those areas. Remember, Dr. Jensen's big thing, and mine too, is that in these genetically compromised weaknesses, you see more lymph stagnation. And I showed you that on the iris pictures. And we're going to show you more iris pictures. I'm going to continue because that's back here in my head always to let you guys see this. So you'll know what that is. Interstitial lymphatic constipation. And very important to break that loose. So, sweetheart Evelyn, you're fighting that, dear one. Hang in there. Don't get frustrated here. Separate your foods a little more. Super chew them better. Look at that pancreas. Keep honking on that lymph system. Could take you several months to get the remedy on this. Even if it took you 3 or 4 months. Separate your veggies from your fruit juices. I walk the dog twice or so per day. At last, I feel ready to step up to walking. Good girl. Myself regularly now, and I'm not in constant pain, joint and neck pain, good deal. But you know that because you had the joint and neck pain, you know that was your lymph system. So you know your lymph system's backed up all through your gut, all up in here, and you're working it. You're working it. So all I can say to you guys, hang in there, keep doing the do until you get it. Because it will be so worth it when you look back. Look at how fast time's flying right now. So I know it's a lot of self-discipline. Keep in mind, we're perverted. We got away from the fact that we're frugivores and a tropical species. We migrated. So now we have serious problems resulting from that. We can correct it nowadays because we have trucking, we have ways, we have greenhouses. We know how we can grow fruits in northern climates. So we really, man has to pay more attention to this if he wants to live healthy and have Homo sapiens on this particular planet, this particular universe, and this particular dimension, and this particular, on and on and on. I know I'm super booked, dear, but that's why I have staff. And you just saw Roger here. Roger can help you too. He's open. I mean, he's getting busy too, but I can tell you that I have this kind of help. Also, Evelyn, we've got a Facebook site with a lot of good healers working that site. So you can go to the Facebook and get that information there too. So this is all about information and you guys helping each other and us all working together. But you know, you have to understand that I was busy when I started YouTube. So it's just, you just have to realize I'm doing everything I can to help you. Well, I'm hiring as much people that I can afford right now, and I'm just doing the best with my affordability. We're not medical doctors. We can't just throw in a big staff and pay for all the fancy stuff. We don't work that way. We don't ride that train. It's only in the last couple of years we've started showing a profit. Only in the last couple of years, and I've been doing it 40 years, and we're just showing a profit. We deserve a little profit, because then we can grow. And it's just have to understand stuff like that when you're in business for yourself. It's just a lot of different stories. I'm concerned about my stomach. Well, I am too, honey, but listen. And go back to what I just talked to Daniel, a Ouija board about. Same thing with you, same thing. So you have to use these herbs like Plursu, get the 3-lung tea, use fresh aloe. You can use manufactured aloe. There are different levels of aloe vera out there. Hopefully ours is a good level. We do research and try to get the better aloe veras, but I like the plant itself. The plant loves to help people. It's a good plant. It enjoys healing. And a burn like that, aloe is always good for burns. The same with you, Daniel. Aloes are good for burns. With that said, the freshest aloe is the best. You might have to use some aloe vera. If you can't get fresh, we'll go buy the best aloe you can find or order it from the pharmacy here and work on yourself and work that way. remembering cyprium, marshmallow, all these are anti-inflammatories, healers, comfrey, all these things. All these are tools that we can use. But you can keep in remembering always the back of your mind. Kidneys, adrenals, lymphatics. Move those lymphs. The fruit diets, you're all doing good that way. You're all doing good, but you're coming from a position of where you got yourself in trouble. So just keep remembering that. It just takes time to work yourself out of these positions. She had to take some pain meds a little bit here. Osteoporosis, inflammation, lupus, and RA. I know you say that doesn't exist. I'm saying that diseases do not exist. I'm not saying that pain in the muscles do not exist. I'm saying the concept of disease is ridiculous. The concept of disease is insanity. Chemistry and physics rules creation. You have to understand the laws of where your body's at. You have to understand the laws of what's going on. If you had never deviated, if we'd have never deviated as a race from our tropical settings, we would never be here and have this discussion. We wouldn't even think about all this. But man's mind is so immature and yet tapped to the universal mind that he's all kinds of things. We're doing all kinds of stuff out here. Some good, some bad. So we just don't have a disciplined mind yet. And we don't have a disciplined mind in relationship to others. We don't give others space. We judge others. You know, it's like people that, you know, it's just all these things. So it's an interesting race here on this planet, and this race needs a lot of love, a lot of TLC, coming out of a lot of conditions. They're still breeding hate in these young kids in some of these Middle Eastern countries. Well, you guys got to turn that around. It's up to you moms to turn that around. Can't breed hate of everybody all the time. You have to understand why everybody's the way they are. And not everybody's going to have the level of awareness of where you're at, whether it's up or down, either way. So we just have to learn this planet can hold us all, and that we have to focus on our health issues. You could have RA or lupus or Lyme's, all of it's the same stuff. Different factors in the body, they determine whether it's RA factors, rheumatoid factors, and stuff like this, but in reality, it is the acidifying of the human body, the weakening of the endocrine glands, the lowering of the steroids and neurotransmitters. It's all of that implies. Well, I mean, really, when you go back and you understand the decay of the human cell, what was involved with that? Two things: dairy products and meats. Dairy products and high-protein diets. That's taken humans out. Those two things more than grains or anything else. Third to that is definitely grains. Done nothing but to fatten and acidify man, just like it does a horse or a cow. What happens if a horse founders? What happens when a horse eats too many grains? Not pretty. Remember, we talked about that before. We put them down. We don't nowadays because we know more about acidosis, and that grains create acidosis, and the overconsumption of grains creates acidosis. So when you look at man's overconsumption of grains, and this is all out of the tropics, man's consumption of high grains, high dairy products, and high meats destroyed his health. Now we're having to get rid of them to get our health back, aren't we? And those that get rid of them are getting their health back. Just saying. So don't get upset here. You guys are rewinding time in a way. You're rewinding time and cleaning out the mess, cleaning out the acids, repairing the glands, repairing the tissues, and getting your health back. Outside of that, you're treating symptoms and you're getting yourself worse. So I don't know. You know, nothing's perfect, but you got to work this one. I've never liked taking medication. Sometimes you get into position. I see two things. I see people jump on medication too quick because they can't stand the symptoms. And they just don't have the strength to handle the symptoms and work through them. So they grab medications too quick. And I see a lot of people live on medications as their crutch. There are those people. Then I see medical doctors putting the fear of God in people and then slamming them on medications. Fear of God. So they slam them on medications. And people are disempowered with that real easily, and so they walk up and get disempowered that way. Then I see people using medications when they're needed. When needed. PRN. When needed only. And that's the time you use pharmaceuticals. When needed only. At the same time, you learn how to repair and regenerate tissue and what causes symptoms. Not diseases that you caught. You didn't catch any of this. You're creating this. It's that simple. Man's creating his problem, not catching his problem. You're never going to get rid of bacteria off of this planet. If you do, you better hope you go with them, because you're not going to like what you're going to experience. You've got to have the bacterium community. You've got to have viruses. You've got to have these. Quit blaming them for your problems. Go back to reality and what we've been doing, eating, drinking, breathing, and putting on our skin. What have we been doing in the world of chemistry? What kind of foods have we been eating? What kind of things have you been drinking? Cokes? I mean, they're having this thing in New York on these big Cokes. Why not outlaw Coke altogether? I mean, look at what Coke is. Look what Pepsi is. Look what all these soft drinks are. Look what carbonation is. I think I'll go suck on a muffler and get my carbon dioxide for the day. So understand when I say it doesn't exist, honey, what I mean by that. And understand that you're living in a world that they're bringing these concepts of diseases in, disempowering you, and putting them only. They've tried to sue naturopaths, chiropractors, and everybody else because they're treating their diseases. Well, here, take them all back. You can have them. We're making people healthy. You're not. So we have no choice. Right? Right. I have had hives since June 22nd. Yeah, your lymph system is real bad then, honey. They're driving me crazy. All right, June 22nd, this is July. That's almost a month here. Yes, the doctor wants me to take more pills. I say, nope. I tell you what, if you have hives, take keep honking on that lymphatic for me. Get your protocol down. I don't know what protocol you're on or who I'm talking to or anything, but get a protocol. Get into your kidneys, get into your adrenal glands. All right, get your adrenal glands pumped up there. Use the raw glandulars if you want. Get on the kidney formulas, lymphatic formulas, clean your bowels out and get your lymph moving, and you won't have any hives. Right now, your skin is showing you that nobody else is home, and that your skin is the one having to deal with this, and your nervous system's reacting to it too. So get your adrenals up, get your nervous system up, really go after this in a healthy way. I took homeopathic drops for 2 days. Surprisingly, at night, my stomach pain came back with a vengeance. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, that's not good at all. That's why I'm an herbalist. I'm not really, I mean, if you're going to say pharmaceuticals or homeopathics hands down. But if you're going to say homeopathics or herbs hands down. To me, more powerful, spot on, and what your focus is. You're not treating symptoms. That always gives you problems. You're going after the cause of the problem. It's the only thing that makes intellectual sense and common sense as far as that goes. Then I got horrible tightness and excruciating pain in my abdomen and chest area, going through a lot of spasms there, through my back and up the sides of my face and head. I don't like all this. Honey, I don't like all this. I don't like all this. VR came to my mind, but for more drugs and pills. I survived 2 painful nights of that. Once it started in the car, the health food store said no way it was the product, okay? But 2 days of taking it and being distressed. Well, can't say that. The wrong product can cause you problems. And same with my herbs. If your body doesn't want, that's why I showed you muscle testing. If you're on an herb and you're on our herbal program and you don't feel right, muscle test the herbs and see if there's one formula your body just doesn't want right now. This just happens. You can't get upset about it. And the same thing with this homeopathic. I'd muscle test myself on it before I'd take it. And that way you'll find out if your body wants it or not. Learn how to muscle test yourself in a store. Matter of fact, get beyond muscle testing. In other words, use muscle testing to feel it, but get used to picking up something and feeling the vibration of that in your hand. Get used to being exceptional. Pull your senses out. Pull your higher senses out. Start perceiving energy. Lose thought and start perceiving and observing. Feel, recognize, and see. Feel the product in your hand. See if it's going to feel good for you. If it's not, see if you start to get a little ache in the stomach. Oh no, I better not. Work with that side of that. Could have been the product. Absolutely. Could have been the product. I wouldn't say. You buy a product from us, I can't dispel that. I'm not causing a symptom. But herbs bring out the problems. I'll put it this way, and this is something you might look at, and it might be true with homeopathics as well, but I know it is with the herbs here. They don't cause problems, they bring problems. Now, there are some herbs once in a while your body just doesn't want. There's no question. The vibrations are wrong for you at this time or whatever. Granted that. But as a rule, herbs only bring out what's only there. Whatever's already there, herbs bring that out into your face. I got a dentist appointment today. No teeth. But just remember that. Herbs bring out what's already there. And what's already there is what we're going after there to help all of you guys get remedy there. I will be ordering your detox kits for week 1 and 2, although my SSDI keeps me from a lot of what I need. Well, see, you haven't even started our herbs yet, so I would really get on that. You might, call and talk to one of the counselors or something, or Drew or Fran, Shannon, and see if they can't give you a abbreviated kit where they give you just what you need there. This is good, though, the first weeks 1 and 2. You don't know if you've got worms or flukes. You don't know what all's involved. So the reason I like that first kit is that it's a dewormer. It gets in your liver. It gets in your endocrine glands. It's a good first 2 weeks for everybody. And it's a good time to see what's going on with you, changing of the diet, see how that regulates symptoms. But you really need to get up on the herbs and get yourself cleaned out there and get that lymph moving and stuff, and all that pain and stuff will come out of there. Because for what you're saying up in here and everything, it's problematic. About my stomach. And you see what I'm turning this into a whole appointment here. I always had one daily AM, BM, but today is day 3 without one. And this is all no good. You got to get on the herbs, get on our formulas, and have bowel movements, because the more that you have constipation, the more acids are reabsorbed. It's going to exacerbate the pain. You got to have good moving bowels, and when you're in pain, you want urination and stool, and you want it on a regular basis, and you want filtration. 2 to 3 stools a day. Now, what is wrong? I know adrenal, stomach, and lymph. Yeah, it could be your adrenals. Again, it could be the lymph in the wall, which is causing you the burn in the first place. And remember, we're talking about how leathery that gets. Then that could be the problem there with you as well. However, he wants me to take the Reglan and chlorophyllum. I won't, but I do want to know what's wrong. I've had my health issues and surgeries in my life. Sounds like your lymph system's a mess. It's burning you all over. It's tightening you up, and you're having surgeries for that, which, I have a cataract. Well, that tells you have acidosis in that particular eye, or both. That's cholesterol, remember? And it also needs your help desperately. I'm supposed to schedule surgery. You can help me heal my eye, can't you? My left already had cataract surgery 7 years ago. I'm only 53. I've had eye issues since I was a baby. So what kind of issues has this lady had since she was a baby? Lymphatic. This is Danielle. Hey, Dr. Morris, I had my results back from an ultrasound of my internal organs. My liver, pancreas, gallbladder, kidneys all look healthy. Now remember, even from an ultrasound, they can look healthy, but be burning up from interstitial lymphatic constipation. And you won't see that. You won't see that on a scan. That's why a lot of doctors do scans and can't see anything when you're in pain and tell you it's in your head. They don't understand beyond what they understand. I don't think I do either. They forgot to scan my stomach. Long story. Two things popped up, though. They saw stone. Yeah, I read that. I have been suffering with chronic pain in my back, heart, stomach area. Have attributed to being my stomach the whole time. So have the doctors, although the burn never went on the waterfest, I thought it was just acids being detoxed out or something. So have the doctors, although we haven't found anything yet. Let's see, these were just the results. I'm going to see my doctor tomorrow to discuss this and to arrange further appointments as a process of elimination to what my condition is. I am on stomach and bowel, lymph 1 caps, heal OT 4 times daily, slippery almond march. I think you're doing the best you could do. Might try the aloe vera type stuff, keeping your food separated, low eating it each time. When your stomach is in trouble, you eat very small amounts more often. You super chew and all that, because it might not be just the stomach in problem. Remember, the pancreas and the liver are also limbs of the tree, and it could be a pancreatic problem, not giving you the bicarbonate. Initially, way back. Now it's interstitial lymphatic constipation. I guarantee you, probably when they see the stomach, they might not see an ulcer, they might not, but it's going to be in your wall, man. It's going to be in your wall. Will my body be able to, let me see. I have simply been using, let me see here, standard process. What info do you need from me testing to understand this condition and how to work with it? I need a picture of your eye. I don't need any other picture, because I can only tell you that none of these are going to be conclusive. You're seeing it already. I see scans all the time like this. I have problems like this all the time in people coming in here, and with all the scans, and they don't see anything because it's interstitial lymphatic, acidosis. I simply have been will my body be? Absolutely. I am currently living on watermelon. Yeah. You'll get your way through this, Luigi. You really will. Get me a picture of your eyes. Maybe I already do. This is RINUS Talk. Thank you very much for reading the eyes. I sent you on the 5th of July. I'm glad I could. I hope it helped you out. The picture of the eyes were not my eyes. I am male 54 years old. The picture of the eyes were not my eyes. I am male 54 years old. They were the eyes of my friend's wife, Rhea, age 69. Oh, okay. The pages of text were not from different people. They were only referring to the diseases my friend's wife, Rhea, experienced at different ages. Oh, okay. My apologies for sending such a long story. It was not my intention to overburden you. My hope was that you could connect the eye pictures and her medical history and how that possibly led to her emerging Parkinson's. Please can you review it again? Best regards from the Netherlands. Hey to the Netherlands. Well, whenever you see the Parkinson's, the MS, or the Lou Gehrig's, number one, adrenals are involved. Number two, cerebellum, most cases are involved. Number three, other parts of CNS, you could have many brain lesions up there. 4, your adrenals, kidneys all tie into the lymph system. It's acids breaking down your lymph system. You are breaking down your nervous systems, breaking down the rest of your body. You know that. So those are the 4 things you always see in that. So whatever things you saw in your life while you were building to that, you could see from all types of inflammation and all types of things, ovarian cysts, uterine fibroids, fibrocystic breast, fibromyalgia, all these things, lupus, Lyme's, all the arthritises, all these things. These are just fancy names for acidosis in specific locations and cofactors to that. Doesn't matter what the cofactors are, because you're going to fix the main factor of this. So, she could have had all kinds of symptoms leading up to that. Doesn't matter, because those are where you always have neurological problems, is where? In the neurological systems. And all of those are controlled by neurotransmitters, or serotonins. And it's just making everything healthy again. Simple answer, but a simple process, but it does take work. But I tell you, it is simplicity that will pull you out of this. But it is a lot of hard work and effort that will help you gain your freedom again and your reality again. So just hang in there and keep working that. You can have scan after scan after scan. Keep having your scans, and I'll keep reading about them, and I'll show you in the very end what you're going to come up to. Had been through this many, many times. Hey, Dr. Morse, this is Daniel again. Ouija Bird here. I would like to know your opinion on this recent study newspaper article. I read that green juices are particularly toxic and people have reported an onset of health problems from juicing. Yeah, I think that's the one we were commenting a while back. I can't remember what they were saying about the juices go to this and this and this, and it's like, oh God, Jesus, here we go again. I remember that, but I don't remember that. I can't remember all the factors to that article, what were we reading, oxalates or something like that. It's like, give me a friggin' break. You know what? All chemistry is bonded unless you break the bond. When digestion breaks the bond, it does it in its way that God made it to. So that's a different type of breaking bonds. But when you break bonds before, including cooking, then you coagulate things. Remember, heat and acids create bonding. Even though at a pH it creates separation. It creates cationic processes. At the same time, it can create anionic processes. It can create catabolic processes, but anionic environments. This is a hair puller in chemistry. That's all I can tell you. Theory, this and this and this. Whew. But the bottom line is, when things are raw, they don't create the problem. It's this counterpart cooked. So when I had kidney stones, we knew they were calcium oxalate stones, but I had been raised on dairies and highly acidics and high proteins. Yep. So, I don't know what to tell you. I can tell you the only way humans can deal with greens the best is juicing. I think if you're trying to superpower you up with heavy green juices, I think that's wrong. Because you're trying to make things happen when you don't have to hurry and make, aggressively hit the body, because that isn't the way it is. The body will work real well for you. That's why I like the vegetables, and I mean the fruits. And I don't even juice my fruits, because why juice them? Like watermelon, why are you juicing them for? It's already juiced. Just dig your head into a big watermelon. That's all you need to do. You don't need to spend the time. And some of you are very sick. Quit working so hard. You don't have to work that hard for your health. Relax. The study basically showed that these green juices potentially contain large amounts of plant toxins. These were said to be antibodies used by the plant's immune system to defend itself from insects and microorganisms. Heard that one. The female doctor in the newspaper article said that she developed fibromyalgia from adopting a high vegetable diet and green drinks. What a stupid lady. She indicated that the plant's oxalates are very toxic. This lady hadn't got a friggin' clue, and this is probably a medical doctor. Jesus criminy. Now, you know how many people are juicing greens on this planet right now? And you think they're all getting fibromyalgia and all this from the greens? What this lady probably doesn't realize is that all this started pulling her acids out. And then it just hit her, because she wasn't doing herbs. She didn't understand how to work with the lymph, the kidneys, and the adrenals, and all this stuff like you guys do. So she just went on green juices. Probably started detoxing, and she started feeling all these acids, because it didn't create acids in her. These plants don't have an acid ash. Even green drinks don't have acid ashes. They have base ashes. So I don't know what she's talking about here. I think she's full of crap. That's what I think. But I'm a fruit guy saying that. I'm on the side of you vegetarians, but I'm definitely in the fruits and berries and melons over vegetables. And I do believe vegetables that are greens should be eaten by herbivores. And that if the best we should do is move into the fruit veggies like the cucumbers and the mango or the avocados and stuff like that. But I have never ever witnessed this problem. And this is the problem. Some lady, like particularly a medical doctor, but some lady like this will go through this experience of detoxing and doing the greens. Suddenly she has a problem. Suddenly she blames her food. Don't blame her body. Don't blame her lifestyle that she led up to this. Blame the few months she went on greens. Oh, look, those greens caused my problems. I see this over and over and over again with very uninformed people, very unconscious people. Disagree with it. Now, I'll say this. Anybody had too much wheatgrass juice? That's a butt kicker in another way, ain't it? And you can have too much alfalfa juice, and you can have too much of all of them, absolutely. Very concentrated food sources. But they don't create acidosis. Sorry, honey, you were wrong in writing that article. Now, look at all the people that read this article and all the people she's affecting negatively. What karma is that? Oh, you don't believe in karma. Right there, that guy, what's your name? Okay. All I can say is that it's sad. And it's a typical medical doctor that'll do that and blame God for it. But in reality, juicers are unnatural and you should be eating them instead of juicing everything. But that's humans don't have the power to digest greens like we should because we're not green, we're not herbivores. And this becomes quite obvious to people. But you just simply have to move more to fruits, berries, and melons if you want to get better results on your lymph. But green juices, nothing wrong with green juice. I've never seen anybody ever have problems with green juices. Again, another typical, probably medical doctor. If that's a naturopath, turn in your degree and go start digging ditches for a living or something. I can understand it's a medical doctor, but look at all the people now that have a negative connotation on oxalates and things. And this person doesn't understand chemistry at all, obviously, because she's bringing oxalates. A lot of food have oxalates in them, let me tell you. Those lot of people like chocolate. Let me see here. Can heal all tea help with malabsorption? That's a good question. Name is GILT HONIE 83. In the sense that it does have plantain in there and can do a little drawing on the bowel wall. Most of the Heal All tea is about healing tissue and rebuilding tissue. But there is some cleansing factors to the Heal All tea because I had to do both. So absolutely, but nothing like GI Broom, Lymphatic 1 capsules, that sort of thing. Even the stomach and bowel isn't as powerful as those two others on reaching in because you have to reach through the mucosa and through the first layers into the tissues, into the cells. I don't know if I have this problem, but I have always been on the thin side. I got the pancreas formula. Any suggestions? Yeah, if you can get a picture of your eyes, you'll be able to see malabsorption by that collarate, that thick collarate that can develop, and that little brown malabsorption ring around the pupil. That would be the best way to tell if you have malabsorption. Could be a pancreatic weakness, obviously. I guess I also have sugar absorption problems. I get itchy when I eat fruit. Now you have a lot of candida probably. And you just take a Parasite M to take care of that, but it is suggestive of adrenal weakness and sugar metabolism problems. Could be. Could just be too much starch in a life, you know. You could eat too much starch. There's way too much sugar. We've talked this before. I was thinking about this morning. You know, again, complexing chemistry does nothing but make it harder to digest. And we can't use proteins, we can't use fats, and we can't use starches. But we have to have simple sugars, fatty acids, and amino acids. See where I'm getting? Why put your body through all that digestion, all the sugar and candida and fungal problems because of too much sugar, or all the proteolytic bacteria from the protein eaters, all of that, the putrefactive issues of protein and all the stages it requires to get down to aminos if you can get them down there, all of that, why go to all that trouble? Fats breaking down, why go to the ketosis? Why go to all that problem when you can eat simplistically and feel good and clean and feel thin and nice and healthy? And I like all that. Nothing stinks. Thank you for your comment there. Well, we've been clucking along pretty good, and I got to write this up and get it to you. I don't know how fast Chris is going to get this up, but I'm going to tell him to get it up ASAP and see if we can't get this up. I thought I would just cut through this pile, knock it out, and we'd all be good. This is all we've done. This is all we've done. And this is what we have to do. Well, I wouldn't have any time to see anybody or go home. So forgive me that I can't get to you. But I'll make a concerted effort. Maybe I'll take a little break here and come back and do some more here. I want to do all fruit, but what about omega-3s? This is sovereign body, mind, and soul. I like the sovereign. That's good. People need to learn what sovereignty means. Omega-3s. So we just had a big conversation in here about omega-3s. And why people have to feel like they need to... Oh, where's that pretty picture someone sent me here? I really would like to find that. The answer to that, and I tell you, I'm sorry I don't have a lot of these things right at you, but this person sent me a beautiful picture about omega-3s, and I love it because what she saw, what she did was she drew a picture of a grinder with a fish stuck in it. I love that. Why do you assume that a Homo sapien has to have animal products for? Is there any animal out there that doesn't require animal products? Yes, the bulk of them. Your herbivores and frugivores, you start adding them up, they make up a pretty good part of creation. So 6s and 9s, but why worry about it? Why don't let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food? Use the herbs to help accelerate, repair, and rebuild, and you've got it. So it's been great being with you today. And I hope maybe I'll come back and do another hour or two, but I've got a dentist appointment. Love, hate. My big cap came out here and crown, and I've just got to go through some nasty stuff. But anyway, it's a real pleasure to be with you. You all have fun today, fun this weekend. I'll try to get back and do some more, see if we can't knock this pile out. Try not to get mad at me for not getting to you. Doing my best. So we love you all, and get yourself well. I hope these all are very helpful to you. And don't forget your spiritual side. Don't forget to give the love. You know, be love. That's all I can tell you. You have those little stickers on your boxes. Be love. Just be love. Be intense love and love every single thing. And no matter what their attitudes are. You don't have to like everything, but certainly you are the one to give love to everything. Because if you don't, who is? And you are me. So if we don't, who is? Okay. So I love you all. Thanks for all your comments. Stay tuned and keep working on your health. I love you. For those that don't like the spiritual thing, okay, I'm sorry, but it's always going to be a part of this channel. I try not to be religious or anything like that, so I'm not trying to insult anybody or affect anybody. All I want for you guys is to have your joys back and have your happiness back and get your body out of pain and use it for the benefit of mankind, and then have fun on a lot of journeys. There's so much to see in creation. Don't limit your life to the planet Earth. That's the biggest thing I can give you for the weekend. Get away from planet Earth and start putting yourself as, seeing yourself as much larger of a being. Bye-bye. Love you all. Namaste. We'll see you all.